What's up, everybody? Well, that happened. So, we're gonna go through it. Hopefully we have a good stream. It was a brutal game, but I talked about it going into it. It would be very simple. If Sam Darnold played like he did last week, the Vikings were going to lose. If he played like he did the entire regular season, they had a good shot and they would have won that game. And you know what? Sam Darnold shit his pants. What else is new? So go on, get your chats in, razzle me up. What's up, Green? Yeah, I'm kind of over it. I was checked out at halftime. I knew this game was over. Probably 2 drives into this game, I said this party is over. I've watched this team all year. I've watched this team my entire life. I know what it's gonna look like. It was just insanely. It's insane. I mean, Sam Darnold didn't miss all his throws this week. He just froze like a statue. 9 sacks. He had 6 sacks in the first half, the most since 1987. 9 sacks in the game, tied the record for most in a playoff game. He was averaging 4.4 seconds per sack in the first half, only 2 sacks under that, and they weren't any sacks faster than 3.2 seconds. So just holding on to the football, seeing ghost, little Sammy D. What else is new? But I'm about to go on an all-time rant. I was about to go on an all-time rant. I've calmed down a little bit, but just the absolute dog shit performance from this team 2 weeks in a row. This is like peak Vikings. 14 wins on the season. They lost to 2 teams all season. 2 teams. They lost to 2 teams this year. The Lions and the Rams, back-to-back, both times. 14 wins, no division title, and no playoff win. It's like you couldn't make this up. The Rams knew exactly what they were doing losing that game last week. They didn't want any part of the Commanders. It is so ridiculous. This is all on Sam Darnold. All on Sam Darnold. It's ridiculous. Yep, Lions enjoy it now. What'd they go, 40 years without a fucking playoff win? Something like that. I think it was like 30, but whatever. I mean, Sam Darnold just cost this team this season, threw everything away because the moment was too big for him. He just, I mean, if you watch Jaden Daniels last night, Jaden Daniels looked calm, cool, and collected, walked down the field, no problem. No fucking problem for Jaden Daniels. Walked right down the field, touchdown, first down, field goal, game over. No problem. No problem. No problem. You why? Because he doesn't have a worry. What did he say first thing after the game? I just put it in God's hands. I ain't worried about it. Sam Darnold was petrified out there 2 weeks in a row. This loss is solely on Sam Darnold. The rest of the team was fine. Defense made adjustments. Of course, can we fix the bullshit-ass intentional grounding rule? Like, what is going on with intentional grounding? Okay, if you want to say Stafford flipped the ball forward, like, okay, then it's still intentional grounding. You have to be attempting to complete a pass. Puka Nacua is in the vicinity. He's not attempting to complete that pass. He's attempting to avoid a sack. He's in the pocket. That's intentional grounding. This shit needs to be reviewable. This shit needs to be fixed letter of the law. It's absolute nonsense. We saw the same shit with CJ Stroud in the end zone, and that completely swung the Chargers game. It was intentional grounding. He wasn't out of the pocket. Would have been 8-0 Chargers with the ball before the half. And guess what? Not first down conversion on 3rd and 16. Houston blows them out in the second half. It's ridiculous. I mean, Sam Darnold was one of the best quarterbacks in the game. It was all on Darnold. We didn't need to run the football. We couldn't run the football. We couldn't. I mean, Sam Darnold took 6, you weren't here, Kat, 6 sacks in the first half. 4.4 seconds average sack. None of them faster than 3.2 seconds. So he was just holding the ball. Just ridiculous. Yeah, Philly, I mean, we would have beat Tampa Bay. We would have clearly beat Tampa Bay. No, we got to play the Rams. And I would be fucking nervous next week, Philly. You guys look like dog shit yesterday. That Rams team comes in there and plays again, Jalen Hurts is going to be having a nightmare performance if they look like that again. So I would be a little concerned, but the Rams offense isn't going to score outdoors anyway. And the Rams offense didn't do shit tonight. They had 10 points to start the game, and then they got the scoop and score fumble, and then the team quit after the fumble by Darnold. Like, the team just quit, and I don't blame them. Darnold was such a piece of shit, but it's ridiculous. Every kind of play went against them. They don't block the punt. I mean, physically, I don't know how the law of physics apply. I don't know how the guy didn't block the punt. I don't know. All right, Philly, keep running it. I mean, I wish we could play the Packers. We beat the shit out of the Packers twice. It's easy. We had a better record than Philly. We should have been the 2 seed. We had the tiebreaker. We would have been the 2 seed. So, like, don't talk. You would have been on the road. You would have been playing Washington last week. Like, be real, guys. Like, we had a better record than Philadelphia. Oh, the Lions are in our division. Sorry. Like, that's insane statements, guys. Like, insane. Cool. When's your next game? April. Cool. Yes, you benefited from a faulty playoff system. What can I do about it? Like, hilarious. Yes, I am a Vikings fan, clearly. Duh, God. Vikings hat. Vikings in the chat. Vikings. No stupid questions, people. Again, you would have played Washington last night. Probably would have had trouble with them. You split with Washington in the regular season. Oh well, maybe you'll get to see them again if they take down Detroit. Okay. Still a better record of the regular season. Sorry, Detroit's in our division at 15-2. Hilarious. But they're going to fix the playoff bracket. And knowing this, Minnesota's going to win the division and play a road playoff game within the next 5 years after they change the playoff format. Because that's like peak Vikings. This was such a peak Vikings years. 2 teams beat them this year. 2 teams couldn't. 2 teams. They lost to 2 teams this year. Like, it's hilarious. Hilarious. They won 14 games. They lost to 2 teams, and they played them back to back. Like, it was such a peak Viking season. Like, hilarious. I was worried about the Rams. I was very worried about the Rams. The Rams fucking took over and didn't do it. The Rams didn't play last week. They tanked last week, and they rested for a bye to then play this week because they were petrified of Jaden Daniels. I wanted so much to play Tampa Bay. The Rams get pass rush with 4, but Sam Darnold shit down his pants. This is literally just Sam Darnold. Like, you could not watch that game and tell me this wasn't Sam Darnold. Peak like 20. This was nothing like 2022, and this is how, like, I know you're a casual fan. Like, if you say it's like 2022, like, you're just a complete casual. Like, this team was nothing like 2022. They beat so many better teams this year. And they weren't winning in the most ridiculous way possible. They were just beating teams. But this is truly a pathetic performance. And this is not on KO. KOC was about to fucking lose his mind. He was about to lose his mind with Sam Darnold. Just not pulling the trigger. Just not throwing the ball. Like the second drive of the game, they call a bubble screen. And they have it blocked up. 2 blockers. Nobody covers Jefferson. And he doesn't throw it to him when he takes a sack. Like, he was just afraid to throw the ball. This is, like, insane. Like, I don't understand how you're an NFL quarterback, 27 years old. You've been through that. You were on the 49ers last year. You learned what it takes, and you come out and just poop your pants. Just completely just embarrass yourself. Like, he literally became little Sammy D seeing ghost out there. And I'm really sick and tired of watching our damn interior offensive line just get fucking blown up. Every time against a good interior defense or any good defensive line. If you run a stunt on this piece of shit O-line, it's a sack. You're under duress. They're so fat. They're so unathletic. Now, obviously, losing your all-pro level left tackle in Christian Darrisaw hurts. Cam Robinson blows. He's clearly a Jacksonville Jaguar. He blows. Like, he's terrible. Somebody go pay him. But our interior offensive line has been so bad. And the problem is this team literally has had this problem since the new administration's taken over. Since Kwesi's taken over, since Kevin O'Connell's been there, They've had this problem with the interior offensive line. And they have done absolutely nothing to address it. The offensive line has not been addressed in the interior. They're horrendous in there. Spend some goddamn money. And this is also a result of our piece of shit GM who cannot draft. He has had 3 horrendous drafts. Oh, but he signs undrafted free agents who are starters. Cool, they're not talented. They're got nice role players. You need impact level starters. We have 2 starters on our team that are worth anything from the last 3 drafts. One of them is Jordan Addison, who, if he gets behind the wheel of a car in the offseason, he's probably off the team because he's going to do something stupid and get arrested again. And our friggin' kicker, who couldn't make kicks the last 2 weeks and got in his own head after his quad injury. So you have a kicker in this year's draft, and then you have Jordan Addison in last year's draft who is flirting with disaster. So you completely wasted your first draft. You know, it would have been nice. We could have used a strong safety. You passed on Kyle Hamilton. You traded back. You had to have 2 draft picks to draft Lewis Seen and Andrew freaking Booth Jr. 2 guys who aren't on the team. Seen's a practice squad bitch in Buffalo. And Booth got cut by the Cowboys because their secondary was so bad. And they still cut his ass because he's that trash. Oh, you couldn't have picked a guy, I don't know, Tyler Lindenbaum, all-pro center, like elite guy, number 1 center prospect. Didn't he go to the University of Minnesota right in your own backyard? Oh, and if you don't want to spend your first pick, how about your second picks? How about Cam Jurgens, Pro Bowl center for the Philadelphia Eagles? Just insane work drafting with this team. But hey, he does a decent job signing free agents. Can't complain about that. But you have to be able to draft and you have to be able to develop talent. It's nonsense. Nonsense. You didn't address any of the team needs. Lewis Seen was a complete bust. Clearly, you take Kyle Hamilton at 14. Andrew Booth Jr., another bozo from Clemson. Stop taking people. Nate Wiggins is the first competent person I think I've seen from Clemson in like 4 years under Dabo. Either that or they're going to jail, or sexual deviance. J-Dub, thank you for the super chat. JJ McCarthy will save you, lol, JK. I mean, literally 14-4 Sam Darnold or 10-7 JJ McCarthy with a playoff win is so much better. If you have a pulse at quarterback, if you could tie your cleats and walk out there, you can win 7 games in this system. Clearly, it's one of the best systems in football. They won 7 games with Kirk Cousins and the team turning the ball over 45 times a game. Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs combined. Like, they managed to win 7 games with that cast of characters. JJ McCarthy will get you 10 wins. It's not that difficult. JJ McCarthy can get you to 10 wins. But he has the it factor. J.J. McCarthy went 70 yards on Nick Saban and retired his ass. People call him a handoff merchant. He just has it. I'll just take it. We're not going to win as many games with a rookie quarterback who's 22 years old. No shot. But if you're 10-7 and get into the postseason and actually have a quarterback who believes that A, he belongs there, and B, isn't afraid of the moment, not afraid of the moment. J.J. McCarthy walked down the field 70 yards on Nick Saban, go tied that Rose Bowl, sent it to overtime, got the dub, and then they won that national championship. That's what J.J. McCarthy adds to this team. That's what he does for this team. So I am optimistic about the future, but of course in peak Vikings fashion, we blow the first year of J.J. McCarthy. He's out. He's got a knee. We don't even get the full Patrick Mahomes year that we had with, Mahomes and Alex Smith. And I'm not calling J.J. McCarthy Patrick Mahomes. Not calling J.J. McCarthy Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, yeah, different level even as a draft prospect. But the situation was there. Sit him for a full year. Let him learn. Let him learn. Let him get the reps. Let him get the practice in there. And then let him take over next year. Because you watch the J.J. McCarthy tape. J.J. McCarthy's better than Bo Nix. Like, he's so much more talented than Bo Nix. Bo Nix was not an eligible draft prospect at the age of 21 years old. J.J. McCarthy was better than Bo Nix at 22 or 21 getting drafted. So he's clearly got the talent. They got to work on some things. He's athletic, which is awesome, but who knows what that knee's going to look like. I am worried now. He's got a bad knee, and he lost a lot of weight. He was skinny, slender boy 2 weeks ago in Detroit on those pictures, but guess what? You need to be a little pudgy. Look at my man, Patrick Mahomes. He got a little dad bod going. You need to be able to take the hits in this league. Jane Daniels almost died. He got sent into the 13th row yesterday, stepping out of bounds. Jane Daniels even needs to put on a little weight. He's crazy. He's crazy. But J.J. McCarthy will be not as good next year, win 10 games, and I would love our chances a hell of a lot more with J.J. McCarthy under center than clearly Sam Darnold. The lights were too bright. Where's the Jared Allen meme? Get the Jared Allen meme. Like, lights just too bright. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, there are some concerns to address. We have to fix the interior of the offensive line. Hockenson will be better. Was a little bit slow coming back from that knee injury. Clearly ACLs, Achilles, stuff like that, they come back less than a year. You know, you come back in a year, it's fine. It clearly takes you 2 years to get back up to speed with those kind of injuries. We're just not quite there. Not everyone's Adrian Peterson, okay? You're just not Adrian Peterson. You can play, you can be productive, you're just not quite back up to speed. I'm just worried about Justin Jefferson. Just signed the contract, and he's going to be getting sick and tired of this shit. And now it's 2 straight embarrassing playoff losses from KOC. And I think this nonsense, like, family-friendly attitude, like, we got to love everybody. Like, we should have benched Sam Darnold in the first half. Sam Darnold should have been benched. And it was kind of negligent just not even having Daniel Jones activated. Like, Daniel Jones, I would have much rather saw Daniel Jones at the second quarter of that game than Darnold the rest of that game. I don't know what Daniel Jones looks like. Daniel Jones has at least played in a playoff game, and he's at least beat us in a playoff game. And let's see. Maybe he can do something with his running. You can't block, clearly. You're holding on to the ball too long. Literally anybody would have been better than Sam Darnold. So it's just complete negligence not putting in a different quarterback. You have to Sam Darnold's not on the team next year. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to play good. It's just, I hate this pussy bullshit attitude. I hate this attitude. You know who was a dick and didn't give a shit about his players, really, and not lovey-dovey? It was Bill Belichick. Guess what? Bill Belichick's the greatest head coach of all time. He has 6 Super Bowl rings. You know who's really not lovey-dovey? Andy Reid. The guys love Andy Reid, but Andy Reid lays down the law and tells you how it is. It isn't this bullshit softness. And I think that's the problem. We have kind of this soft, lovey attitude, which we needed because we were under literal Stalin with Mike Zimmer before this. So we needed kind of a change in the building. Guys didn't even want to go to work. So I like it. And clearly, KOC is a good play caller. He has an excellent system. He can develop quarterbacks. We're seeing this. You can't watch what he's done with Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, Sam Darnold the last 2.5 seasons and say, look what he did with Kirk Cousins. We got the best Kirk Cousins we maybe have ever had in the NFL with Kevin O'Connell as the head coach. I mean, it's just so frustrating. Flores on the defense. Flores, always coming out a little slow on the adjustments. Like, it's a little bit slow. We're a little late. They gave up the 10 points early. Like, we knew what the Rams were going to do. Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback in the NFL against the blitz. Not just this year, like maybe all time, but he was the best quarterback this year against the blitz and was the worst against a 4-man rush this year. So horrible against regular rush, great against the blitz. What do? We're blitzing, and we're not covering guys. He wasn't throwing the ball downfield. It's 5-yard checkdowns when he's under duress. He made an excellent throw to Higbee against Blake Cashman on that first drive. There's literally nothing you can do about that. Like, that's just a Hall of Fame throw by a Hall of Fame quarterback. But I'm talking the checkdowns to Kyron Williams, the check down to Higbee on that drive. It's 4th and 1. The refs blow that offsides. Puka Nacua is moving forward when he jumps into the neutral zone in between the tackle box. That is false start by definition. But why the fuck are you jumping? Why are you jumping offsides, Jerry Tillery? Like, what the hell, man? It's just so frustrating that every little thing, they just make the stupidest and smallest mistakes. And then you could see it with the bounces. Like, we didn't even have friendly bounces this game. It felt like everything. Again, the fumble for a touchdown. The game is tied. No, it's a forward pass, but it's not intentional grounding, which would have cost him 15 yards, gave him a little bit better field position. Get that shit figured out and fixed. This is so ridiculous. You get the guy, of course, you're down on the fumble, and then you fumble for a touchdown the next play. Like, the fumble would have been better at that point. The fumble clearly would have been better at that point. Oliver, you idiot, just go down. And then I don't know how Grugier-Hill doesn't block that. I don't know how Camu doesn't block that punt. I mean, the law of physics, his shoulder pads are past his foot. What is he doing? Block the punt. That's a huge play. That's 70. That's a 70-yard swing in field position. They punted the ball to the 10 and covered it no problem. The Vikings are not a playoff team. Hilarious. Please tell me what NFC team is a playoff team over the Vikings. Please. The Falcons? What a dumbass statement. The Seahawks? The team they beat in Seattle? Horrible comment. Where was Jefferson at? Jefferson, 5 for 58, nothing in the second half. Had a lot of bracketing, a lot of double coverage, the typical stuff. So you got to go to your normal stuff. You got to be able to get the ball to Hawkinson. The Rams are one of the worst defenses against tight ends this year. Shit to Hawkinson all game. Darnold's afraid to pull the trigger. Jordan Addison, you got to go to him. He throws him a ball on third down on the second drive of the game. Addison makes an incredible catch. It was a terrible throw. This is just nonsense. It was such a bad performance. This is solely on Sam Darnold. If you have any other quarterback on there, you stem the tide of the early drives, you get in there, and you're just playing a football game. It's 10-10, and this game can go back and forth. The Rams didn't do anything in the second half on the offense, and like I said, they score right before the half after the scoop and score fumble. It's 17-3. You get stopped on fourth down again. And the Rams are going to score. Like, the Rams just score a touchdown. The defense quits. Of course, the defense is going to quit. And then everyone just goes into a shell mode. So you can't blame really anybody else but our fat and useless offensive line and Sammy, I'm seeing Ghost Darnold. Thank God. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Sam Darnold saved us $40 million next year. Like, Sam Darnold saved us $40 million next year because you can't sign this piece of shit. And everyone's saying J.J. McCarthy not it. Like, you can't. Sam Darnold has lost the locker room. You can't play like this in the two biggest games of the career. If Sam Darnold is mediocre in the last two games, he makes $35-40 million next year. He doesn't have to win them. He doesn't have to look good if he's just mediocre. No, he looks like Sam, I'm seeing ghost, New York Jets quarterback, Darnold. He cost himself easily $30 million. $30 million? $40 million? I mean, he cost himself so much money with this performance. So much money with these last two performances. And it's just so peak Vikings. You're the first 14-win team to be a wild card team. You're the first, I mean, you lose to two teams all season for 4 losses, and you lose to them back-to-back both times in the exact same order. You lose to the best team in the conference in your division, Detroit. And then you lose to the Rams, who when they play and when they are healthy are one of the best teams in the NFC, clearly. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback, elite wide receivers, even though Cooper Kupp has gone off where's Cooper Kupp? Is he on a Bigfoot poster with that damn beard hanging out in the woods? I know he's a Washington guy, but holy shit. It's just so peak Vikings. It was peak Vikings everywhere. So peak Vikings. And I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun to watch Lions fans have to square that circle when J.J. McCarthy's playing quarterback for the Vikings. Because all those Lion fans are diehard Michigan Wolverine fans. And J.J. McCarthy is like God to Michigan. Like, J.J. McCarthy brought the title. He is, like, they love that man. They love J.J. McCarthy. So that's going to be really funny to see them try and square that circle next year when he's playing against them. It's so funny. If Josh say J.J. McCarthy bringing this team to 500, he sucks. Yeah, hilarious. We won 7 games with Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, and a one-legged Kirk Cousins. Like, hilarious. J.J. McCarthy is better than Bo Nix. Bo Nix was not even draftable at 21 years old, guys. Bo Nix had to leave Auburn because how bad he was in college. I think that's what people forget. He's not 25 like Jaden Daniels. He's not 25 like Bo Nix. He's not 25 like Michael Penix. He's not 24 like Nail Polish Boy in Chicago. He's a baby. He's going to be 22 here coming up soon. So maybe it is one more year. Maybe next year when he takes over as the starter, he is down for a year. Maybe he's not that guy. I mean, he's clearly better than Bo Nix. Literally everybody had him ahead of Bo Nix on their draft board. Bo Nix is a system guy who was horrendous against the Buffalo Bills yesterday. So let's chill, guys. I'm missing like every chat. I do appreciate everybody who is chatting, who is liking the stream, and who is subscribed to talk shit. But, so yeah, JJ McCarthy, maybe it's a year. Maybe they have 9 wins next year, miss the playoffs. But by the time he's 23, 24, the same age as these guys are at rookies, he's going to be good. He's going to be fine. He's an elite talent. It's really not that difficult. And if Jim Harbaugh, who is clearly a quarterback wizard, loved him, I'm okay with that. He knows something. Like I said, we were all in on the Tom Brady factor when we made this draft pick. We made the draft pick. We're all in. It's the Tom Brady factor. Doesn't put up crazy numbers. Has a big arm. Not a freak of an athlete. But the guy just wins big games and makes big time plays and big time throws. Seriously, go watch the final drive against Alabama in the Rose Bowl last year. Incredible throws, incredible concentration from McCarthy. He didn't even have to do anything against Washington, which what I would have liked to see. It's nice to have a run game, but guess what? Who the hell were his receivers at Michigan also? Like, who was he throwing to? I mean, I'm pretty sure I played wide receiver for Michigan last year. I mean, absolute nobodies. We got Jordan Addison. We got Justin Jefferson. We have TJ Hockenson, who's at least fine at tight end. I mean, JJ McCarthy just has to have a pulse, guys. We won 7 games last year with Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins. JJ McCarthy can't be that bad. He can't be any worse. He can't be any worse. It's whatever. Yes, the Vikings are going to be worse next year. I think they have a better shot to win a playoff game with J.J. McCarthy next year than Sam freaking Darnold. Little Sammy D. So bad. I mean, truly just straight on the quarterback. Straight on the quarterback this week. It was so bad. Cormorant, they had to go 70 yards on the final drive. 2 minutes left. That was J.J. McCarthy. He literally cannot be worse than Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs, especially from what I saw in the preseason and what I've seen before that. 6 sacks and a half is the record this season. I don't know. It was the most since 1987 in a playoff game, who was also done by Vikings quarterback Wade Wilson, Deadpool, in the NFC Championship game in 1987. I mean, this was NFL script. I mean, not really. I thought the officiating was fine. This was not poorly officiated game. I didn't think the officials did anything terrible. I mean, the face mask at the end of the game was crazy where they didn't throw the face mask and then talked and watched it on the bid board and then called it. That was crazy. I would be worried. I would be worried if I was an Eagles fan. Like, maybe this is the week we get the Rams referee situation because guess what? Rams-Lions, they're going to sell that shit all the time. So, I guess I'm going to get to the chat, y'all. I do appreciate everybody who's chatting. Sub, I've missed everything. So, I'm just going to starting now. If you want to say more stuff. Sammy D should never have a team again, bro. Yup. NFL script, no. Rams and Vikings handshakes, yup. Good for LA. They probably needed it. They were the better team tonight. Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles, 3 worst teams ever. I don't know about that. Vikings got it next year. I don't know, but it's going to be better than this year. O-line is full of fat idiots. That is the best comment ever. Yes, they are so fat. We got Fat Barry at center. We got Dalton Reisner, who's useless. We had Ed Ingram, our top, a third-round pick out of guard. Useless, can't even play. I mean, Reisner, fat. They're so fat. They're so fat. Brian O'Neill gets a concussion. Giving up on Sam Darnold already. He got y'all there. Lame-ass fan. Diego, I'm real. I care about winning. Sam Darnold shit his pants in the 2 biggest games. He's a career loser and showed it again. Like, it's perfect. Most sacks, tied for the most sacks in a playoff game, yes. Welcome to the Niners. Love to give the Vikings the sloppy seconds. What? Nobody, the Niners suck. They're about to be horrible. Now the NFL scripted. You have an excuse on top of the excuse. No, the NFL's not scripted. The officials had no part to do with this one. No part to do with this game at all. I thought the game was officiated fine. No. Be ready for next week, though, Philly. As a Ram fan, everyone like right now. There you go. Shout out. Rams are feeling good, and the Rams are scary. I think nobody wanted to play McVay and the Rams going into the playoffs. Everybody knew this. Nobody wanted to play the Rams. As much as an up and down season as they had, and as bad as the offenses looked for the Bills, they beat the Bills, guys. You forget this? They beat the Bills in a shootout. Bills are one of the best teams in football. Not that long ago, they beat the Bills. This is a scary team. This is a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is an elite head coach. This is a Super Bowl team that won. And Puka Nacua, leading your roster, but they're so banged up. And their defense is young and crazy. Their defense is young. They don't give a shit. Their D-line is excellent. 2 fantastic pass rushing picks this year in the draft. Like, yeah, this is a scary team. O'Connell didn't have them ready to play in the Rams. Hometown is on fire. O'Connell's fault. Sam Darnold sucked ass. The game plan was fine. Guys were open. The blocking was fat. Oh, saw this coming from a mile away. We already beat the Rams. It'll be a good game. The Eagles did beat the Rams. Be careful. Got to play better than they played yesterday. All right, see you, Drape. People saying that Darnold got us there is crazy. Our def got us there. The stats aren't showing the quality of the wins. Yeah, the wins are up and down. I mean, we beat Green Bay twice. We beat Houston, beat the shit out of Houston when they were fully healthy, basically. No Joe Mixon, that's about it. You know, you beat Seattle in when they were right there in the playoff team. So you can only play your schedule. Their schedule was like 16th in the NFL, something like that this year. They won 14 games on a 16th strength schedule. It happens. It's typical. Lions up. Sam wet the bed. So many open receivers. Yeah, not as bad as it was in the Lions game. The Rams did a much better job in coverage, but he just held onto the ball. He panicked. You saw it in his eyes. He was so afraid. He was scared, man. He was so afraid. Rams season will end next week. Well, half the team season are ending next week. Hey, just sub, bro. Not a Vikings fan, but you're cool. Appreciate that, Salted. Darnold lost this game for the Vikings. Absolutely right, Ira. This is 100% on Sam Darnold. It could have been on the defense eventually. I mean, they may have not gotten stops, but they did their job in the first half. They did their job in the first half after that 10-point sway. And I knew it. I said the first 10 minutes, you have to come out strong. You have to survive the emotion. Like, there's so much emotion behind everything that's going on in LA, what they went through. You knew they were going to come out firing. The first 10 minutes of the game, you had to survive. And I was happy the Rams got the ball first. I didn't want to see that defense out there first. But they went down the field. You play bad defense. You jump off sides on 4th down. And then you go instantly 3 and out on the first drive of the game. 2-yard loss on 1st down. Sam Darnold takes a useless piece of shit sack. Just like so awful, man. Washington fan, I think we can beat the Rams if we matched up in the playoffs. Yes, Washington, great matchup against the Rams. Rams are horrible against mobile quarterbacks this year. The Rams definitely lost, so they didn't have to play the Commanders in that 3-6 matchup. And I think they were also trying to duck Philly a little bit because they don't want to go outside in the cold. Now, the game's at 2 o'clock on Sunday, so it might be at least sunny out there. But they definitely wanted the Vikings, and I think they wanted the Lions in the second game. The Rams want the Lions. I can definitely say that. They played them overtime first game of the season this year and the great playoff game last year. The Rams are not afraid of the Lions. They want another crack at the Lions. Will they beat them? I don't know. I wouldn't bet on the Rams, but they're definitely not afraid of them. And that's the matchup. I don't think they wanted to play Washington or Philly. Can we agree the Chiefs are overrated this year? Define overrated. They still won 15 games. They're still probably going to be playing in the AFC Championship game. And they're probably going to go to the Super Bowl. The game was officiated fine. Way too many mistakes by the team. Penalties every play. They only called the blatant stuff. The false start on the offsides. Like, just don't jump offsides. Puka Nacua false started. Rams live for another week. I'm enjoying your pain. Keep trashing the Eagles. We're going to whoop the Rams again. Like we did in Los Angeles. Cool. You still got to beat the Lions too. Like, Eagle fans are crazy. Like, Jalen Hurts was horrendous yesterday. He was so bad. And Kellen Moore is like a bad play caller. Fangio torched Stafford last game, so we'll see. I'm not worried. Yeah, the defense is all good. Defense is going to have to do it because that offense is fucking dog water in Philly right now. Rams Super Bowl again. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I would definitely not be surprised if we saw Rams-Lions rematch. You bet on Stafford's over and he didn't hit the over. Yup, because they didn't have to. Sam wasn't reading the plates fast enough. Nope, he was just staring it down, not knowing where his reads are, not even looking at his check down. Like, he had check downs wide open to start this game. Matt Stafford doesn't. Oh, I lost my place. Stafford doesn't run. Eagles defense is really physical. Yep, I mean, that's how they're going to have to do it. The corners are going to have to jump up on there and get up in their face. But tough matchup. If Cooper Kupp's like just in the fucking woods with Bigfoot, they're not going to win. They can't just do it with Puka. They need both of those guys out there. Stafford's going to find guys. They'll be okay. Would like to see Stafford forfeit? Yeah, the NFL is going to keep pushing. If they can keep selling that ticket, they're going to keep pushing it. Stop coping, Lions pride. Cool, one of the 3 Lions fans that, the guy who was a Lions fan 2 years ago. There's like 6 people that were fans in 2019, guys. Let's not kid ourselves. Everybody's out of the woodwork, just like the Chiefs. Wouldn't be mad if the Rams were surprised. Yep, that's what happens when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback. And the Rams won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. So, obviously a different team, but it's not like they're crazy. What does this mean for Darnold's future? He has lost all the money. Sam Darnold is going to be a broke boy. Why is O'Connell going for a 4th and 2 before the 50, right before the half touchdown? Because the game was 17-3 and you had to score going into the half. You had to get a first down there. You had to score, getting the ball to start the second half to try and double dip. So I was for it, and then the defense just checked out after that. That's just all it was. The defense just checked out after that, and I would have too. Fuck the offense. Seeing ghosts per usual, on point. The Commanders, I believe, will win the Super Bowl. It would be pretty insane if the Washington Commanders won the Super Bowl, but they got a guy. Jaden Daniels is that dude in Washington, and the future is the brightest it's ever been in Washington, I think, since they last won the Super Bowl. They've never had a brighter future. Should have put Jones in. Jones wasn't activated. They should have. They should have made him the backup. Put him in. Especially with, scrambling quarterbacks beat the Rams this year. He can actually run. And it would have just been better than Darnold. I don't care. He could have been terrible. I wouldn't have cared. It just would have been better. Will you be going live for the playoff games? Yes, we will be live next Saturday or Sunday. I haven't decided which one, but we will be live for Saturday or Sunday doing the games again. We had a great stream this past Sunday if you didn't check that out. What happened to the Vikings, man? Sam Darnold. JJ is a warrior. McCarthy or Jefferson, both warriors. Defense can't hold forever. True, and I would quit. They gave up the early 10 points, but, they were fine in the second half. They were trying to make plays. They should have had the strip sack touchdown. Just really unfortunate and kind of a bullshit, not intentional grounding right there. O-line couldn't protect Darnold. It wasn't even that. The O-line is fat and useless, but Sam Darnold, average sack time was 4.4 seconds. That's way too long in the NFL. You got to get the ball out of your hands. I agree. At halftime, they should have just went to Nick Mullins. Screw Darnold. He's not going to be the quarterback. As soon as he misses a throw, he panic sells the rest of the game, or if he feels the pressure. Even if the pressure isn't there, he feels it. Rams aren't that good. Y'all just suck. The Rams won 10 games and won the NFC West, so they're clearly fine. The Rams pushed the Lions to the brink last year. The NFC West, the NFC Champion Finals. 2016 is your year, not going to lie. 2 years, I can't wait. Can't believe the Vikings fans were talking shit this week. Who the hell was talking shit? Retards? Who was talking shit? The Rams? I was not talking no shit about the Rams. The Rams are good. The Rams are professionals. Yeah, Hall of Fame quarterback. Darnold showed us why he isn't elite. Darnold showed us why he isn't even an NFL quarterback, I don't think. He's a backup. But you know what? I'm sure the Indianapolis Colts or the Las Vegas Raiders will have fun with him. Rams have a great matchup versus the Vikings. Yep, clearly, the Rams and the Lions, that's the only 2 teams we lost to this year. Won 14 other games. Bad matchup. Any team that can get pressure with 4 is a problem for the Vikings because our offensive line is fat and our quarterback is bad under pressure. And aggressive physical corners in man. If you had to actually pick, not from an emotional mindset due to the recent loss, who wins, Rams or Eagles, I have to do more breakdowns And I'll be doing breakdowns. We're going to break it down Wednesday, probably. I'll go live again. I'll break down all the divisional round games. I'll look at the weather. I'll probably lean Eagles. I have to look at what the Rams' run defense is like. But if the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball against the Rams, I would take the Eagles probably. Like the Eagles, I mean, Saquon is the Eagles' offense. Like we saw it this week. They couldn't do anything if they weren't running Saquon. Vikings were never in hurry-up mode to change the tempo. I just don't think that they could. I don't think Sam Darnold could do it. I don't think Darnold could even do the hurry-up tempo. It's 9 sacks for Darnold. Yup, trash can. I would laugh, but I'm a Broncos fan, although nobody expected us to win, so ha. Cole, you would be surprised in this chat, my guy. The Broncos fans were talking the most shit this week about winning a game and getting an upset. The Broncos fans were going crazy. Crazy this week. So, if you're a Normals Broncos fan who are just happy to be there, we're not expecting to win, you enjoy it. You were fine with yesterday. But the Broncos fans were talking reckless this week. Everybody was on it. O-line collapse, got pushed back, smacking the back of O'Neal's helmet, and he hurt his hand. His hands have been hurt all year. But he was just panicking regardless. Panic. Who you got, Chiefs or Texans? Definitely lean Chiefs. Fangio owns Stafford, ain't worried. Well, as long as they go lives for the Eagle game, unless you're scared. I just don't know. Saturday or Sunday. I haven't looked which one. I'll be live for one of those two, not both. Can't do it. I was exhausted after the 7-hour stream. Commanders ain't winning the Super Bowl. They barely beat the Bucks. Yeah, it's way early for the Commanders. But you gotta love a quarterback like Jane Daniels who just doesn't give a shit. Oh, the chat skipped again. Oh, God, it skipped so fast. Where was A.J. Brown? Yeah, we're talking Rams. Re-sign Darnold? Absolutely not. Watch the tape and look how no wide receivers are open for Hurts on almost every play. That's crazy. They have 2 pretty good wide receivers. Bills winning. Ooh, that's going to be a great game. That game's going to take a lot of breakdown. Get rid of the ball, Sam Darnold. Hilarious. Fun fact for the head ref for the Chiefs game is 6-0 and reffing them in the playoffs. Ha! Yeah, but the Texans also are just, we saw this game 2 weeks ago. When Tank Down went out. I hope the Vikings don't make you switch from Michelob Ultra to whiskey. They might make me switch to heroin at this point. Jesus, but no. I'm glad I didn't even really drink during this season. Didn't even really drink. Only, when the holidays rolled around. We were pretty clean all season. And maybe that's why we won. Saquon's going to run all. He ran for 255 in the first game. You don't press Puka or Kupp. You play zone and confuse the QB, you idiot. You're not confusing Matthew Stafford. All-time dumb take, Philly Matt. You're not confusing Matthew Stafford. What? Play physical, get on those 2 guys. They will sit in a zone all day. They will pick you apart sitting in a zone. Minnesota sat in a zone tonight. They picked them apart the first 2 drives. Been a fan since 97. Vikings fan or Lions fan? I was calling out Lions fans for a minute there. Heavy cope with the Detroit slander? No, it's just like Detroit didn't win a playoff game for 30 years. They've been good for 2 years and have yet to make a Super Bowl. And now everybody's a Lions fan. The Lions had 6 fans prior to this year. Or prior to 2 years ago. There were 6 people that were there for the 0-16 team. And you know what? They should enjoy it. But every Tom, Dick, and Harry's a Lions fan now. That was tough to watch. Bears getting Ben Johnson. I don't know. I think Ben Johnson wants his own GM, and the Bears aren't going to fire Poles. So that's a weird situation. I don't know. And why? I don't know. Ben Johnson's going somewhere where he can pick his GM, I think. Vikings are major frauds. This ends the Purdy or Darnold debate. I mean, you could say that. They lost to 2 teams this year. They lost to the best team in the conference and the Rams, who won the NFC West. Like, okay. Chargers fan feels our pain. Yup, Chargers, a very similar franchise. Where was the run game for the Vikings? They don't run the football. They haven't run the football all year. And they were just chasing. Is it the 17-3? They're chasing. They ran it a little bit early. Cam Akers better. Aaron Jones clearly banged up, man. He just had no pop the last 3 weeks of the season. He got banged up in that Packers game, and he just wasn't the same. He's old. He's a 30-year-old running back. Don't feel bad. I'm a Bears fan. Yeah, you shouldn't feel bad, but you should feel bad about your nail polish wearing quarterback. Humble 50-year Lions fan here. Got to admit, you're right about the Vikings line. They effing suck. Yeah, fat and useless. Except for the tackles, and obviously you're missing Darrisaw, who's great. Humble 50-year Lion fan. Yep. That's how you should be. Until they at least get to the Super Bowl. Bo Nix is better than Sam Darnold, probably, at this point. And Bo Nix was pretty terrible yesterday. When Darnold did run, he got 20 yards and drew the flag. Instead, he just stood in the pocket. Yeah, he just stood in the pocket. He didn't even just slide up in the pocket, move, and that's what he did all season. That's what he did all season. Slide up in the pocket, like move around. He did none of that. He just panicked, ran backwards, taking sacks. Classic Vikings fan throwing Darnold under the bus already after glazing him for the last 4 months. Joey, watch the football game. I'm not a moron. I watched the last. He was great. He was great. He was horrible after the first 2 losses and a horrible in the Colts game, horrible in the Jags game, and then had one of the best months of anybody this season. And then he was horrendous the last 2 weeks against 2 of the best teams in 2 of the biggest spots. You can't do it. Like what? Yeah, like maybe like these idiots who are like just nonstop like Viking sycophants. Darnold was great in November and good in December until that Lions game. And he was horrendous. Watched it. Just watch it. You can tell if a quarterback has it or not. It's really easy. He don't got it. He ain't got anything. He's scared of the moment. Uh-oh, skip again. Oh, the chat keeps skipping. You guys are doing a great job. I appreciate everybody who's liked, who subbed. I missed like a million notifications. I'm sure I'm just trying to read through the chat. F the Rams and the Vikings in California. A little aggressive, Christian. Little aggressive. These, Skull, you guys might regress next year. Too many one-score games and a lot of stuff went your way. But not even really in the one-score games. Like, two garbage one-score games against Green Bay. They dominated both of those games. Like, some backdoor covers from, like, backdoor one-score games for some teams. But they're definitely going to drop back with J.J. McCarthy as their quarterback. Like, it's really that simple. Like, Jets was let's look. This was a backdoor one score. They dominated Green Bay. Can we see this? Okay. That was a one score game with the Jets. The one score game with the Colts they played. Was that a backdoor? They played so bad in that game. Let's see. When was the score in that game? Yeah. 21-10 guys with 2 minutes left. Backdoor field goal to make it a one score game. So, again, not really a one-score game, and they were awful in that game, too. Jacksonville, awful. That was a one-score game. Titans, no, 2 scores. Bears, they were up 11 with 2 minutes left, and they just, like, fell apart and let them come back and go send it to overtime. Crazy. Yeah, Cardinals, one-score game. Probably should have lost that game. Not a one-score game, not a one-score game. Seattle, one-score game, back and forth all time. Green Bay, another backdoor cover, up 17 in the third quarter, and then lost the line. So, it's really not as many one-score games, so let's just count them like actual one-score games where it was the result was in doubt of these one-score games. We got 1, 2, 3. I'll count the Bears game definitely. 4, 5. Seattle. So 5 one-score games this year. They went 5-0 on them. Rams was a one-score game. They lost. That was 8 because remember the face mask in the end zone to give them the 8. They were down 8, give them the 10. So that would have been a one-score game and a loss. Lions, one-score loss, legit. Legit one-score loss. So 5-2 in one-score games, really. Competitive games, one-score games at the end. So not as big as we thought. Some regression. I said 10-7 and a wild card win on the road with J.J. McCarthy. That's what I'm talking about next year. Every time they're put against, they get bullied. Yeah, but it depends when they play them and they don't get penalties called. Like, they led the league in pass interference calls this year. The Vikings didn't get anything against the number one pass interference secondary last week. Didn't draw a single PI. Sam Darnold gets the ball in the vicinity. You maybe get a bunch of those calls. Why do I have to be a fan of the Vikings? I live in Missouri at the same time when Patrick gets drafted. Yeah. Everyone forgets the Chiefs were basically the Vikings with the one Super Bowl win over the Vikings in Super Bowl 4. But the Chiefs were the Vikings. Like, always good, never good enough. The Rams always do what the media swears the Chargers do. That's a great comp right there. That is true. That's a great comp. Who you got winning it all? I would probably lean the Chiefs right now, but I don't have any hard commitments. I would just lean Kansas City. Depends who they play in the Super Bowl. Definitely depends who they play in the Super Bowl. If they get the Lions, I like Kansas City. If they get the Eagles, maybe the Eagles. If they get, anybody else, I like Kansas City. But they got to get past Baltimore or Buffalo. Like, that's going to be an insane game in 2 weeks. I think they'll take care of the Texans, but Baltimore, Buffalo, two fantastic football teams. Got to be better. Can't win a playoff game with Darnold or Cousins. Yeah, the defense sold on Cousins, but they weren't great. This was all Darnold tonight. Darnold is ass. He's awful. Wait, didn't you have the Vikings? Yes, I had the Vikings winning this game, but I didn't have them rolling the Rams. I had this a 1-score game. Yeah. And I said all week, what Sam Darnold do we get? If we get the Sam Darnold next week of the Lions game, we're going to lose. And we got the Sam Darnold of the Lions game and lost. So this is not surprising to me. Eagles and Chiefs, don't kid yourself. The Vikings didn't even play today. Felt like it. Browns over Vikings. Well, they at least got the draft pick, but the Browns are yeah, come on, guys. The Browns are the worst organization of football right now, but maybe Deshaun Watson will give them life. Can't wait to see Dak Prescott tear it up next year. I wouldn't sell that one. Mike McCarthy bounced for a reason. Vikings or the Rams. Game fixed. Nah, it wasn't fixed. It wasn't the officiating. They were bad today. Vikings are just a franchise of dick riding and sucking. Like, what? Crazy. Crazy statement. What would you be saying if we won? What would the score look like? Depends how we won the game. I would be saying different things. Yes, I would be saying different things if our quarterback played better and we won. What? Of course. Result. I make my statements based on the results of the game. I was all over the Chargers against the Texans. I do not hold the same opinion about the Chargers or the Texans going into this week. I watched the games. You talking to a dude who's the MVP runner-up last year, healthy, or he's got no head coach now, and he's coming off another leg injury. He already lost his speed. Not great for the Cowboys. Not great. Super Bowl, probably Chiefs-Lions. I would probably go Chiefs-Lions right now. Zone obviously works for Stafford. Okay, we'll see. Blitz. He's the best quarterback against the blitz. Most teams play blitz off the zone, play zone off a blitz. In the NFL, this isn't college. This isn't Madden where you play a man blitz. Teams run a ton of zone blitz in the NFL. Knew this would happen. Darnold will always be a backup. Looks like it. He's the reason the Cowboys suck. $60 million. Freeman, Bears head coach. Ooh, hot one. Maybe. I know they were interested. Big difference between the NFL and college. But Bears need an adult. They lost out on Vrabel. I feel like they needed Vrabel. Maybe Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin would be a good fit in Chicago. How many QBs have won a Super Bowl since Dak has been in the league? At least 2. I know of at least 2. Probably 3. Mahomes, Brady, Stafford. When was Dak drafted? 2016? So, 2016 before that? God, lots of people have won Super Bowls. Looking forward to Ravens versus Bills. Ravens to upset the Bills. Yeah, I don't even know if I would call that an upset. I think that's like a 1-1. I think the line's like 1. Maybe a little that's like a coin toss game, but yep. Worst 14-win team of all time. I know a Packers fan is not talking right now. Smack the Packers twice. Yep, Sam is definitely not it. Resign Aaron Jones. I don't know, man. I don't know. He looked old towards the end here. I would draft a running back, but definitely not high. This is a super deep running back draft. Lions fan, Vikings had a good season. Darnold might not be on the team next year. GG's definitely not going to be on the team next year. If he is, I'm going to be disgusted. Darnold didn't show up in the lights for Vikings. See, you can't say that. The Vikings the Vikings defense were dominant against the Lions offense last week until the offense just completely just killed them. And you can't hold the damn all game and not be competitive. So, and the defense did the same today. After the first 2 drives, they locked it in. So, I can't blame everybody. It's really all on Sam Darnold, it feels like. And the offensive line is fat, but we knew that. Go Niners. Okay. Not good. Not good future for the Niners. Where are we on the poll? 353 votes, 74% on my man J.J. McCarthy. We're cooking. I'm wild and probably. Darnold looked lost all night. Lights were definitely too bright for Samantha Darnold. Bo Nix sucks. That's a straight Bo Nix. Have a tight end as big-ass Oliver. They could have found out more better ways to use him more this year. Except Oliver's a piece of shit. He misses blocks all the time, and he fumbles. Should have had a fumble again tonight. Useless. Useless ass. I glazed Herbert all year just to watch him play like Pop Warner QB. Yeah, Herbert wasn't great, but his offensive... the offensive line sold on Herbert way more than the Vikings offensive line sold on Herbert. Vikings suck. 14 wins, still 14 wins. I would have felt they would have beat Tampa Bay. They probably would have beat the Commanders, too. I was very worried about the Rams, Eagles, and Lions, obviously. And anybody who wasn't worried about the Rams just doesn't watch football. Go Rams. Week 14-3 with the weakest schedule in the NFL. What a bot comment. The Vikings had the 16th. The Vikings had a harder schedule than the Eagles. Sam is your guy 100%. If you want to keep me in torture and keep this franchise in torture, hell yeah, he is. Last two games, Sam Darnold came up where he just showed he's not a clutch guy. Sometimes you're just not a clutch player. Loved how the Vikings kept running the ball at the, they were trying to do, I don't know, man, at the end of that game. I was so checked out. I hated on Hurts all year just to watch him suck again. Oh, Philly, Matt, I love you. Oh, one go Niners, one pride. Watch out on Daniels and the Commanders. Yes, just not this year. I would be floored if they I was not surprised. I think I had the Buccaneers winning on Sunday, but I had them winning by 3. So I had it as a close game. That was a flip. I would be floored if the Commanders beat the Lions. I don't know how they're going to stop the Lions, but Daniels is going to be a good quarterback in this league for a long time if he can stay healthy. He's got the it factor. Good game, though. I was very surprised it wasn't close. It wasn't surprising if you watched Darnold play. Flores overrated. I felt like he was just a little late in his adjustments. He didn't really do... the first two... They had a great second quarter. He was great for 3 quarters last week, basically, against one of the best offenses and the best offenses in the league this year. And... I was fine with it. Like, we knew the Rams were going to come out flying in the first. All scripted plays. They had a bye. They knew they were going to lose that game. They knew they were betting very heavily we were going to lose to the Lions last week. So I'm sure they were fully prepped. They spent 2 weeks prepping for the Vikings. And then they just quit. The defense kind of quit. Sam absolutely has to go. You want to know what it is? You got a Bills jersey. You can claim fandom. No, I have a lot of jersey. I ain't claiming. I love torturing myself. I never waver. So stupid. Straight fraud, just like Detroit. Everybody's a fraud to everybody, apparently. As a Vikings fan, do you hope to move on from Darnold onto JJ or run it back with Sammy D? 100% do not bring back Sam Darnold. You lost the locker room. Give me JJ. Outside your divisions, the Vikings had a pretty soft schedule. Basically the same schedule that everybody else in the division played. You can't compare a team with no solid QB established and the Rams having Stafford for the past 3 years. Yeah, Stafford's great. Excuses. Lions defend the den. Vikings work for FanDuel. No, Sam Darnold's just garbage. Vikings-Jaguars game. Yeah, that was after that game is when he turned it around. Dude, they would have went to... 100% they believe they would have went to J.J. McCarthy this year if he was healthy after that Jaguars game, even though they won. I feel like they would have went to him after the bye against the Lions. Or after the Rams game. After the Rams game, they lost 2 in a row. They were 5-2. They had 10 days off against the Colts at home. That's where they probably would have thrown J.J. McCarthy in if they were ready for him. But he was hurt. Darnold held the ball for too long. Was it 9 sacks? What happened to the O-line? The O-line is fat and useless, and Sam Darnold held the ball way too long. It's not on the O-line if your quarterback just holds on to the ball. Commanders with the Super Bowl upset. Bro, Brad with a bold claim. Yep, we're heading home. Bad matchup. Wish I could have played the Packers again with the same record. Was it true the Vikings were trying to trade for Stafford during the season? I 100% believe that. And that Thursday night game kind of sold it. If they beat the Rams on Thursday night, the Rams pack it in and they potentially trade Stafford. And they were definitely willing to give up that first round pick and Sam Darnold. They were going to ship Sam Darnold to the Rams and give him that first round pick. For shit like this. This was the biggest question mark all season. All season we talked about this. Anybody who watched me talk about the Vikings this year, all season, the biggest question mark for him, for this team. What is Sam Darnold going to look like in the biggest spots? We don't know. A unproven commodity who's never started a playoff game. Matthew Stafford has won a Super Bowl. O-line got destroyed though, but really not even. Like, holding the ball for 4 seconds, like every O-line's going to give up a sack against a good pass rush holding onto the ball for 4 seconds. It's terrible. Vikings was a good take. They just shit the bed. Sam Darnold shit the bed. Lions Super Bowl bound at Philly. That's going to be such a fun game. If the Lions and the Philly fans deserve each other, that's going to be awesome. Rams were in sell mode during the season until that Thursday night game. They were ready. Giants are the worst organization. Yeah, them are the Browns, maybe. Browns are. Remember, the Browns did give Deshaun Watson that contract. Bengals will win the Super Bowl next year. Not with that defense. It was Sam's fault. 4.4 seconds, the average time in the first half. Gave up 6 sacks. Like, that's not on the offensive line. They're fat and useless, but that's on Sam. Giants need a Manning to save them. I'm not on the O-line. Didn't know the channel existed until I was leaving for work. Appreciate that, Ted. Rams look good. Chiefs and Eagles. Are you guys allowed to sports bet? I'm not. I'm in the beautiful state of Texas, and with all our freedoms, we do not have legal sports betting. It is a shame. Bills, Ravens, no run games for the Vikings, and JJ didn't show up. JJ had 5 catches for 55 yards in the first half, or 58 yards in the first half. Not on JJ. Sam Darnold just holding onto the ball. Run game, we were chasing. I felt like we should have moved to Akers quicker, had the couple of big runs. Aaron Jones banged up, looked old. We haven't had a run game all year. Ravens, Eagles, Nick Foles. O'Connell called a bad game, didn't get Sam in rhythm, and kept going back to the running game when it wasn't working. That's not true. Sam Darnold was like 13 of 12, like 12 of 14 to start this game, and he was just taking crazy sacks. Crazy sacks taken. Oh, skipped again. I know a Cowboys fan is not talking shit. That's crazy. 24 points by half is, they scored a touchdown on defense, right? And the offense turned the ball over at the 45, their own 45. What? How do you think the NFC bracket plays out? I don't know. We'll find out Wednesday. I'm reading YouTube chat. I'm just far behind. I'm trying to catch up. Oh, look, it's a new Zesty Chicken Burrito, the One Pride guy. He became a fan actually in 2023. If the Vikings beat them, I don't think they get past the Eagles. I don't know. The Eagles would have to pass to beat us. They would, Vikings are one of the best run defenses in football when they care. So they would have to throw the ball to beat them. Sam is not good at being dog shit. Terry is clutch. Justin, where is he? Again, Cowboy fans talking is the funniest thing ever. Vikings need a mobile quarterback. Yep. JJ McCarthy, mobile quarterback. Yep, 14 wins just to not win a division and losing the wild card is crazy work. 100 peak Vikings. Not going to get the shot. Maybe you should have gotten yep, I 100% agree. Akers, more touches. Eagles, Staffords, who do you like? Well, they're telling me that Saquon ran all over the Rams and the Rams have a bad run defense. So I would like the Eagles. If they can run the ball, I like the Eagles. It's really that simple. Jalen Hurts was bad, man. Jalen Hurts was bad. He was not good. Guys were open, though. He was afraid to throw the ball a little bit, too. MVP Lamar plus King Henry. Ravens will crash out those Bills. I bet 50K on it. Little too scary and a little too steep for my... I'd rather have Darnold over Hurts, to be honest. You can't say that. I've seen Hurts play good in big games, Philly Matt. The troll is sweet. Darnold's awful in big games. You got to have the it factor. At least I've seen Jalen Hurts be good in college in big games, and I've seen him be good in the NFL in big games. But if you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers and his playoff wins, like the last few, they're like crazy. My man's under like 140 yards in every game. It's just like crazy to look at his numbers. Yeah, if your offense isn't scoring, it's not going to make your it's going to get tired. It's going to make your defense look bad. Yeah, like look at the Lions game last week. The Lions had 10 points in the third quarter last week. Is your coach the play caller? Yes. Kevin O'Connell calls the plays. Yeah, I thought the defense was fine. I thought the adjustments were a little slow. They needed to make the adjustments after the first drive and not after the second drive. Vikings are the Walmart Niners last year. Good system, just will always struggle finding a good QB superstar. Hopefully not. I believe in JJ McCarthy. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be better than Brock Purdy. That's for sure. Yeah, people just don't know. They just have the perception of 2022. Like, people don't know other team schedules. People watch football, but they don't actually watch football. How to fumble a $100 million bag by Sam Darnold. True. Doug Peterson, bad head coach. Stop yapping. Oh my God, the chat. All right, it skipped down to the end. Sorry if I missed you guys then. I'm missing all this. I appreciate everybody who's subbing and hitting the likes, liking the stream, sharing the stream because we're having fun. The Hurts hate is wild. It's not hate, it's just accuracy. Just accuracy on Hurts. Yeah, Hurts is better than Darnold, but Hurts isn't a top 5 quarterback. Having Saquon Barkley in that offensive line helps a lot. Like with the protection he was getting against Green Bay, they should have won that game by 4 touchdowns. Vikings, were the Vikings not getting a pass rush? Yeah, we don't have a guy at the pass rush. We really didn't get a lot of pass rush this year with Ford. We led the league in blitzing on first and second down. And Matt Stafford's the best quarterback against the blitz this year. It's a terrible matchup on top of it. Like quarterback wise, Matt Stafford is a horrible matchup for my Vikings. Like we live by blitzing quarterbacks, disrupting things, making them confused on the coverages, and Matt Stafford is not getting confused by coverages, changes, and blitzes. Yep, Eagles can run it, and they got a great defense right now. This is all true. Look, even Philly Matt's on it. Like $50 million player, you need a lot more out of the quarterback position at $50 million. But that feels like everybody. Who's the only quarterback worth their money right now? Joe Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, and Mahomes. Everybody else is over. Baker Mayfield's worth his money. Baker Mayfield's not making a lot of money. Any rookie quarterback. But anybody who is on a second contract, there's like 4 guys worth their money right now. Rams fan, did you think the scoop and score was actually incomplete? I guess technically by the letter of the law, he was throwing it forward, but it has to be an intentional grounding. It has to be an intentional grounding. He's not attempting to complete that pass to Puka Nacua. He's 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he's just trying to avoid a loss. That's intentional grounding. He's in the pocket. That's not in the vicinity. They need to kind of move to like a college rule because you have to get the ball to the line of scrimmage or be right. They need to work on intentional grounding rules. Darnold came back to who we knew he was. He is who we thought he was, to quote the late, great Denny Green. How come the Vikings go to the slant? The Vikings don't throw any slants. We need more slants. Bills or Ravens? I'm not sure yet. Great game. I will have my predictions on Wednesdays, guys. Wednesday we'll be going live. Damn, I look handsome. I appreciate that. I feel miserable and look fat and ugly, like our offensive line. Even if y'all would have won, the Lions would have beat y'all in a couple of weeks. Maybe. Maybe the Lions lose to the Commanders. You just never know. You never know in a one-and-done situation. Somebody could get hurt. Are the Eagles going to win? If everything's saying about the run defense is the run defense for the Rams is true, then yes. If Saquon's going to be able to, if they're going to be able to run on them, then yes. The only team that's going to beat the Eagles is a team that's going to stop Saquon, kind of like the Ravens. If you can stop Henry and Lamar running the football, you're going to be good. Lions defense isn't that great. Yeah, but they're getting healthier and the refs are going to let them play. And the Lions play a very physical type of secondary. Led the league in pass interference calls. And they're going to swallow the PI calls. KO sucks. Yeah, this ain't on KO. Hurts is he's the worst QB left in the playoffs. Is Hurts the worst QB left in the playoffs? I think Hurts is slightly better than CJ Stroud. Yeah, I would say Hurts is better than CJ Stroud. And probably slightly better than Jaden Daniels, maybe. But obviously the potential for those two I feel like is much higher. Danielle Hunter would help. Yeah, Jonathan Grenard was good and, it's a different kind of scheme. We don't have an elite pass rusher. I wanted to trade for Myles Garrett at the deadline. Do the Eagles suck? No, they don't suck. Nobody in the playoffs sucks except for, anybody who backed in. Anybody in the playoffs is better than most of the league. The only team that's bad, the only team that shouldn't have been in the playoffs that was in the playoffs was the Denver Broncos because it should have been the Cincinnati Bengals. Otherwise, it was clearly the best team, the 7 best teams in both conferences. There's not an argument for another team in the NFC to make the playoffs. And it's the Bengals over the Broncos, who they played 2 weeks before. And I'm confident in saying that because the Bengals and Broncos played head-to-head. That's why I'm confident in saying that. Lions will win in the shootout. I could see that. JJ's overrated. Definitely not. Eagles pay everyone. Eventually, that's going to come back to hurt them. It always does. Look at the 49ers, guys. You always got to pay the Pied Piper. Can't keep everybody. Lions win it all. Rams should beat the Eagles. Hurts is a bum. I wanted you guys to win so bad. Goff is fine. They won the division. It's not accuracy. Dude is a winner. Doesn't matter if you don't like how he does it. I mean, it sometimes matters. It does sometimes matters. It's very easy to win behind a 150-yard running back and elite offensive line. You got to make throws and plays when you need to. We should look into getting Danielle Hunter. Too old, too expensive. That scoop and short should have been a touchdown. He literally just dropped the ball. I mean, I'd have to watch it more times, but it looked like he had it inflicted forward with the wrist. But it's at least intentional grounding, and it's bullshit that it wasn't. Chat skipped again. Ravens or Bills, not sure yet. Bengals defense definitely dug their own grave and their kicking team, but man, they were peaking at the right time. Maybe Pittsburgh too. Pittsburgh was shit also. But they won their games early. I keep forgetting how bad Pittsburgh was. Only one road team won this past weekend, and it was the rookie on the road at the least intimidating home environment. Tampa Bay is not a great home. That's not a huge home environment right there. And obviously, maybe you could say technically the Rams, but it was a pretty decent Rams crowd. I still don't see the Bengals beating the Bills, even if they squeeze in. I agree, J-Dubs, but they're spicy and they're fun, and they probably deserve. They were a better team than the Broncos to be in the playoffs. I would agree. I wouldn't. The Bills would have scored 50 points and won that game. The Bengals aren't stopping the Bills. If you think the Eagles have a money roster issue, you're obviously, no, you're just going to have, they're eventually going to have it. They're going to have to pay people. They're not paying anybody on that defense besides Slay yet. That defense, very cheap. Very cheap, and I think the offensive line's pretty cheap for as good as it is. I don't think Mailata and Lane Johnson are making anything crazy. Obviously, got a rookie at center. I don't know what the guards are doing. That's why they were able to pay Saquon. The defense is so cheap right now. You have an elite defense, and you're not paying really anybody on that defense. You got rookies everywhere, and you got rookie contracts everywhere. That's why they got rid of Hassan Reddick. Money. Oh, the only bad contracts on the Eagles is Huff, to be honest. Yeah, maybe Hurts, but nah. It's coming. That's the point. It's coming. They're going to have to keep drafting good. Howie got to keep drafting good. A.J. Brown's contract's a little expensive for what feels like A.J. Brown disappears in big spots, too. It's kind of crazy. Brad, I like your takes. Appreciate for playing. Have a great night. Appreciate it, Brad. The Honolulu flu. I see. See, this is hilarious that the Lions. You do know that teams have won after playing the Lions this year, but like nobody won after playing the 49ers last year. Like the Niners were better last year against teams playing them than the Lions were this year. Very poorly informed. The Vikings, only Sam Darnold play bad. Low-key, Terry's the best wide receiver in the game. He's not the best, but he's definitely maybe the most slept on. I missed that one. Only sometimes. Where was he in that whole first half, Hurts? Eagles-Lions, 100% NFC Championship game. Nothing's 100%, but that's probably the favorite. Who do you think wins the Stanley Cup? Christ. I haven't looked at the East standings in a while. God, we're going to hockey now. I'm going to do this because Ted's been a cool guy tonight. Not the Maple Leafs. Washington. Washington, scary. Ovi coming back. New Jersey's too young. Carolina feels like they're always there, but never there. Vegas could go back to back. I could see that. Winnipeg, spicy again this year. Don't trust the Wild. Don't trust Edmonton. Don't trust my Avalanche. So give me Vegas or Winnipeg out of the West, and give me Washington or Carolina out of the East. I can't trust the Maple Leafs ever. I don't think Maple Leafs can even trust the Maple Leafs. And the Devils are just a little too young. Where are the Rags at, man? The Rangers have been kind of a letdown this year. All right, there's our hockey talk for the day. Eagles host Washington NFC title game. That would be a dream for the Eagles. Three fraudulent 13-plus win seasons in 8 years is crazy. What? The 2017, the team that went to the NFC Championship game, fraudulent? People just say the most insane stuff. The Saints are the fraudulent 13-win team. Remember when they got bounced in 2019 in the first round by the 9-win Vikings and Kirko Chains? Washington won't be Detroit. Yeah, I wouldn't bet it, but I wouldn't be, I'd be pretty surprised, but Jane Daniels maybe could do it. I don't know. Fire KOC. This is not on O'Connell. Ship Darnold. Ship JJ. JJ doesn't deserve this. He's the best player in the league. Send him somewhere where he'll win. Our franchise is a dumpster fire. We got McCarthy. It's fine. I hate our GM, though. He can't draft for shit. It was already too tough for the Broncos. If they won the Bills game, they would have to go, yeah. And any real Broncos fan would have said, they're fine. Eagles paid. That's not true. The center's not getting paid. The center is on his rookie contract, his third year. He's eligible for an extension this year. Yeah, but where is the Lions contract? Is Lane Johnson the highest paid right tackle? Where's Mailata? Where are they at? I know they're on their second contracts. Where are they? What's the number at? They're not paying everybody the highest paid position, which is what most teams do. Look at the 49ers. They got stuck in that hellhole of paying everybody the highest ever. Yeah, the Vikings could have Levis. O'Connell's play calling, run the ball, down 3 touchdowns. I think it was just over at that point. Yes, I am annoyed that my team lost. That's usually how every single fan base in the NFL acts. What a dumb statement. Do you think the Vikings trade down or focus more on O-line picks and cornerbacks? I don't know what our idiot GM's going to do. He's probably going to trade back and acquire more picks and not draft. Our GM is a terrible drafter. I should run the draft for our team. Because our GM is useless. If you want him in free agency, signing contracts, go right ahead. He's been awesome at picking up contracts, letting guys go, signing guys. Horrible drafter. Damn it, Darnold. Hard to say I guess they weren't favorite going into this game until the venue moved. The Rams were favorite to start this game. So, I know a Packers fan is not talking right now. Knew they were frauds after week 8. The team's not frauds. The quarterback was a fraud. The team was not frauds. The quarterback was a fraud. That's actually wrong. The team who loses to the Lions lose the next week. That's not been perfect this year. There's been multiple teams that have lost to the Lions and then won the next week. The Houston Texans beat the Cowboys after they lost to the Lions. They put the Buccaneers feather in their cap because they beat the Buccaneers. Or the Buccaneers beat them, but then the Bucs lost the next week. Yeah, Washington's been really good in crunch time. Big Leafs W. Washington Eagles at the link. Do you think Michikov wins Rookie of the Year? No idea. I haven't locked into hockey yet, guys. I'm basically football until now. I will start getting into basketball and hockey come the end of February. Joey, I appreciate the super chat, man. Awesome. Let me jump down to the chat, give that the heart. Everybody drop the hearts in the chat. If McCarthy sucks, should he get a pass since Sam Darnold won 14 games? Or, no, I don't expect, JJ McCarthy's 22 years old, guys. He's going to be 22 years old next season. I don't expect us to win as many games with JJ McCarthy. I just think he's better for this team and franchise. He's going to be a better guy. He's actually going to believe Sam Darnold never once believed we could win that playoff game tonight. He didn't believe he could do it. JJ McCarthy will believe he can win any game no matter what. I've seen him do it constantly in college at Michigan. Chiefs-Ravens AFC Championship rematch for what happened the first game of the season. That would be fun. Chiefs versus Bills, Chiefs versus Ravens is an awesome AFC Championship game, and it's what we live for, honestly. Honestly, it's what we live for. It is debatable. The Eagles have the worst coach and QB combo. I personally would take any coach over. Yeah, I think Eagle fans would get rid of Sirianni, too. Hurts is clutch. Yeah, and Hurts has been good in big games and big spots. That is a thing. I'm not going to argue that. Praying Steelers signed Justin Fields. We're not on Justin Fields. He's not that guy. How are they? We exceeded expectations. I don't know how they were fraudulent. They went to the NFC Championship game. They lost to the 1 seed in the NFC Championship game. What? It's not fraudulent. Making a conference championship game is not fraud. They were the 2 seed and they lost to the 1 seed. Crazy how that works in the NFC Championship game. Thanks for Scene, by the way. Yeah, Scene's trash. We give you Herbert for JJ and a first-round pick deal. No, because I don't want to pay him $5 million. Before the season, I would have done it. I don't want to pay a quarterback $55 million right now. The Vikings have so much cap space, and they have a lot of guys they have to sign. Need a real QB option at QB. Fields and Wilson ain't it. 100%. Niners are a clown show. Yep, they're old. The Niners are about to have a downfall. Hope someone hires Flores. I hope not. I still think Flores is good. 2 division upset this week. Yep. Kind of 3. The Texans weren't favorite. The Chargers were favorite. So 3 dogs won this week. 3 favorites, 3 dogs won this week. Do you think... yes, Harrison Smith is retiring probably. Yep, he saw the ghost again. O'Connell wasn't outcoached. I can't even say he was outcoached. We didn't even get an opportunity. Sam Darnold was out. Sam Darnold was awful. Jefferson deserves better. Yeah, but we pay him a lot and we give him the ball and we love him. JJ scoring for Randy Moss, one of my favorite of the year. It's the Redskins. That's offensive. Do you think... No, I don't think he's much. I don't think he's better. I just think 10-7 and a playoff win in the belief that you can win a wild card game is better than 14-4. I'm much happier with that. I'm done with football. I'm now just focusing on LSU women's basketball. Tough. Keep watching the football. The game was not good at all. No, there were 4 or 5 horrible games this weekend. There was 1 good game, and it was the game last night. The other games were just bad. JJ is a bust. I don't know. He looked pretty good in the preseason. Liked what I saw for a 21-year-old kid. Sam had the best season of his life. I would be excited if I'm a Vikings fan. I'm a Giants fan, BTW. Yeah, I'm excited for JJ McCarthy now developing with our great head coach in scheme because Sam Darnold can't win big games and he's shit. Yeah, wildcard weekend was pretty disappointing. Gorlock has to face off with his Rams fan. Welcome to the herd. Go Chiefs. Nick has made it to the playoffs every year. First back-to-back NFC East winner in 2 decades. They did not win the NFC East last year. You guys forget that. They did not. He has not won the NFC East back-to-back, has he? I guess the first 2 years, did they win the division that year? They lost with Hurts, or was Doug Peterson the coach that year, or was that Sirianni? I thought was it Sirianni's I can't remember. But they didn't win the division last year. Sirianni's a knucklehead. No one wants to see KC in another title game, only their fake fans. True, but if the KC earns it, it happens. A three-peat is kind of cool. I hope the Vikings make the playoffs in 3 years. Yeah, I would be shocked if the Vikings weren't competing for a playoff spot next year if they're healthy. I would be very shocked, even with rookie JJ McCarthy, 10 wins. Everyone underestimates the 4 seeds. I did not. Is it him or the O-line? It was definitely him tonight in the last 2 weeks. The O-line is fat. The interior's fat. They're useless. The O-line's not great. It hasn't been good, and they haven't addressed it. Kellen Moore, odds-on favorite to be the new Dallas Cowboys head coach. Big yikes for them. Big yikes for the Cowboys fans. I said that to my Cowboys friends this morning, and they wanted to vomit. Because Dion turned them down. Nobody wants Will Levis. Cam Shador, probably Cam Ward. Do you think the O-line should be our main target in the draft? I'll do all my draft digging and research. Offensive line or corner. The problem is they need an interior lineman. And guess what, guys? If we went 6-10 and we were picking in the top 7, it would have been better than this year, because then we could have drafted Ohio State's tackle, who's an All-American guard, and fixed our line. This guard class is pretty bad. It's a good tackle class. We don't need offensive tackles. We need guards and centers, and we do need a corner. Definitely need a corner. If you had to choose for fun, what's your Super Bowl matchup and winner? For fun, just best outcome and result, it would be Bills over the Lions. Bills over the Lions, best result and matchup. For strictly entertainment purposes, it would be that matchup. And probably the best game. I'm going to be... Since you can't draft safeties. Yeah, and Cam Bynum's the other free agent safety. Yeah, they got a lot of safeties on the team, though. Yeah, Harry's just was kind of a step slow this year, too. He wasn't the hit man. Yeah, it sucks. He was a great Viking. Ravens game was absolutely not the best game this week. That game was pretty bad. That game was pretty much over pretty early. I mean, if you're a Ravens fan, it was the best game. Who are you rooting for now? I root for nobody. I root for good football games. I will probably be pulling for the Bills. Probably the Bills. Got family, big Bills season ticket holders, like Josh Allen. I'll be okay with the Chiefs. 3-peat's cool. Not going to cry. I wouldn't be mad with the Ravens either. Like the Ravens. It would be insane if the Commanders won. That would be crazy. Can't root for the Lions, can't root for the Eagles. I'm contractually obligated, so I can't root for either of those 2 teams. I'm contractually obligated. Oh, no. Somebody had a 3-leg parlay looking for me. Chiefs first half, 4.5. Commanders +9. Ravens money line. Any donations go to the LA Fire victim. Ace picks. Don't fumble the bag, fam. All right, let's see if it works. Sam Darnold is bad. That's coming from a Steelers fan. They know bad quarterbacks. Damn, homie. Thanks for stopping by, Frank. Yup. Detroit Lions, King of the North. 3 division titles in my lifetime. I'm not going to get my panties in a bunch. What's your grade for the season? No, I did not like his tape at Georgia. I wanted Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton was clearly the best. I mean, I think it was like a B, like minus or a C plus, especially. I mean, because they just didn't get anything back in the trade, and they let the Lions draft Jamison Williams. It was just a horrendous trade. Kyle Hamilton was clearly the best safety. I wanted Kyle Hamilton. He was on the board at 14. We were on the board. We were on the clock. Draft Kyle Hamilton. Question is, do we keep Daniel Jones? Probably not. Maybe as the backup, but we do get a draft pick if he walks. Sorry for your loss. The Vikings are truly one of the most tortured franchises. Yes, because we're not just garbage. We're good enough to win a lot of games and get our hopes up. Welcome to hell. I knew this season was going to end like shit. I heard Lamar Jackson hangs out at the bottom of his boxers. What? Titans fan dropping by telling you Sam Darnold will get a $175 million contract by the Giants. Vikings are not going to be good. I don't know why we would think that. The foundational pieces, they thought they were going to be bad this year. They were not bad this year. Even if you want to say they would at least 11 wins. The Browns will take Darnold. They don't got any money to take Darnold. Darnold is favored to be the Steelers quarterback next year. Rams, send Justin Jefferson to the Bills Mafia, please. I don't think the Bills can afford him. I don't think they got any money. Juice Man says he can't wait to beat the Eagles next week. By the way, oh no, where was that? Where is that? By the way, all those Sam stays with the Vikings, JJ traded to the Chargers, Herbert traded away. Just blew up in a yes, idiots. 1,000. Yeah, somebody asked me when that conversation was going on what I would trade JJ McCarthy for, and I said 2 first-round picks. Yeah, which is insane. I will give up JJ McCarthy for 2 first-round picks. Texas Kelvin Banks or whatever is the best lineman in the draft class. I don't know, man. He kind of wasn't great against Ohio State. Also got an injury. Probably the best left tackle. Him or Will Johnson from LSU. So, yeah, some of these tackles do shape better as guards, size and arm length. It just depends. I haven't done my full dive on all these tackles. I just know, like, the Johnson who's listed. Let's look at the, now we're getting into the NFL draft. Where's the big board? We're getting into the draft and the big board. Yikes, this is a little too big on PFF. Let's pull that out a little bit. Let's get the medium look here. Let me pull the screen over. We can hop onto the big board. I'm catching up, you guys. I'm way behind. Again, I appreciate everybody who's stopping in, sub to the channel, hitting that like button, sharing it with us. So let's look at the offensive tackles here. Will Campbell, number 1. Josh Simmons, he's a guard. He was an all-pro guard. He has to play tackle this year. He's going to be a guard. Kelvin Banks, your other left tackle. Membu, what are he? 6'3", 314. He's a guard. There's another guard. 6'4", 315, probably a right tackle. Wyatt Millum, 6'6", 317. That is a tackle, if I've ever seen one. Gray Zabel. What's Gray Zabel? My great name, great football name. 6'6", 305. Maybe, maybe a guard, but probably pretty big. Maybe a right tackle. So I'd have to do more of my draft research. I haven't dug into it, and there will be plenty of digging into the NFL draft stuff. Do not worry. If you got the itch for draft content, we will have that on this channel. Rams-Ravens Super Bowl. Everyone loves to say how Stafford won the Super Bowl. He threw a bunch of picks. Burrow outplayed him. Yeah, maybe. Joe Burrow is also an elite NFL quarterback. Stafford had a fantastic drive to win that game. But again, if Aaron Donald doesn't hit Joe Burrow, if he's a half a second later, maybe the Bengals win that game. Stafford was pretty good that postseason run, though. Wasn't great. He was pretty good, though. You a Vikings fans can't see yourself rooting for the rival Lions, right? No, absolutely not. I hated these idiots rooting for the Packers and the Lions fans. Very disappointed in them. I was very disappointed in the Lions fans rooting for the Packers 2 weeks ago against the Vikings. Shame, shame. Shame, shame. Can't ever root for them. H-Town strong. H-Town, hold it down. Commanders the dark horse. Definitely the dark horse. I think the Rams are probably the dark horse. Like a team that legitimately could win another 3 games. I don't think the Commanders could win 3 games. Like, is anyone going to be floored if the Rams get hot and win the Super Bowl? No. If the Commanders did, I think everybody would be. I'm not saying the Rams are. I'm just saying They're not. It's not the most surprising dark horse team. I got Mr. Pfizer dropping from a heart attack. What? As a Steelers fan, we do not want Darnold. That's a good call. Hey, look, Vader. Vikings suck. Go Lions. Hey, look, guys, I found another Lions fan from 2022. That's when he started. Daniel Jones' curse is real. He's not bad, just a system QB. He was pretty bad tonight. He's pretty bad in big spots, Sam Darnold. Ravens got to lock it in. So do the Bills. Ravens and the Bills both got to lock it in if they want to get the reward of playing the Kansas City Chiefs. What is Sam Darnold's last meal in Minnesota? Juicy Lucy, Brunswick stew, or something cool nobody else eats? Oh, God. Juicy Lucy. I heard Minnesota's got some pretty decent chicken wing spots there, too. I don't know. I've only been to Minnesota once. Go Pack, go F the Vikings. I don't care if we got eliminated. Let's go Rams. Well, that's fine. That's the kind of shit talking you can have. As long as you're not saying Vikings are frauds. Can't be that guy. As a Steelers fan, we all know you're paying the couches open, buddy. Yeah, this is the Lions' year. Maybe. Kirby Joseph is the best safety from that draft. We took him later. Was he in the 22 draft? I don't know if Kirby Joseph is better than Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton was all pro last year, too. I still think the Vikings there's no way, Cats, we tag Darnold. There's no way. They can't bring him back. That would just be negligent. Maybe they transition tag him and they trade him to somebody. But the Lions about to run the North for years. Our GM just better. Yeah, teams are going to stop trading with Brad Holmes, and we'll see. They're going to start having to pay people, too. Everybody takes a step back when you got to start paying people. And you're going to lose your play caller. Thoughts on free agent Steve Balboni. I haven't looked at free agency yet. What? Bulls could have drafted the Eagles. A lot of people, Bills, no, the Bills could have technically, but they didn't know Justin Jefferson was going to be there, so they traded the pick. Like, they didn't know. They didn't know. Howie Roseman royally screwed that up, taking Jalen Reagor. He was right there, so the Bills wouldn't have gotten Justin Jefferson if they stayed put. If the Giants bring in Sam Darnold, everyone will be fired by the end of the season. Maybe that's what they want. What do you think of, oh, yeah, nice, this guy's getting banned. Banned. Rams were my upset pick this weekend. Viking future look bright. I hope it doesn't look dark, but it's maybe not as bright. Patriots teams. Now, I will trade you Sam Darnold for. I will send him. Yes, you can have him, but you got to send me Drake May. You can have a first round pick of Sam Darnold. Give me Drake May. I'll give you JJ McCarthy for Drake May. Drake May was my second favorite quarterback coming out of that draft. My second favorite quarterback. I love Drake May. Keep it up, bro. Appreciate that, eh? A lot of tackle this year, struggles in space, and they seem like they would do better on the inside. Yeah, it's what it was looking like a little bit, but I feel like everybody in college is so weird. It's really hard to project who's going to be an elite left tackle in the NFL, it feels like, coming out of college. Rams upset the Eagles and Texans upset the Chiefs. Watch. That's crazy. That's a hot take. Do you think we can still trade Sam? What do you think we can get for him? I don't know. Somebody, if we transition tag him and they want to pay $40 million. I mean, I don't know who wants to pay him $40 million. But we would have to transition tag him. Ravens, Bills, who wins? Jiggy. Find out on Wednesday night. But I think it's going to be a great game. It's not Cope, it's just facts. My Rams going to the bowl. I don't know. Be a hell of a run. Who you got if you lose? Right now, I probably have the Chiefs, but nothing is in stone. I haven't, I'm not locked in. I take it by a week-by-week basis, guys. Week-by-week basis. I watch the games. I process. I look at the matchups. Matchups do make fights. Matchups do make fights. Like, the Commanders beat the Rams. Like, if the Rams win and they are the 3, if the Rams win last week and they're the 3 seed and they play the Commanders beat the Rams. And Minnesota goes to Tampa Bay, the Vikings beat the Buccaneers. Like, the Rams are an awful matchup for the Vikings. The Vikings are a terrible matchup for the Buccaneers. The Commanders are a bad matchup for the Rams. And the Commanders are like kind of a neutral matchup with the Buccaneers. Like they won more games than the Buccaneers. They're kind of a neutral matchup with them. They won on a last-second Doink field goal. Watch the Ravens stop running the ball and choke. Yes, that would be peak Ravens choke if they stop running the ball and make Lamar throw it 35 times. Want to agree, but not sure. Eagles and Lions still in it. Can the Lions beat the Commanders? Yes, definitely. They can definitely beat them. I would probably pick them. But you never know. The Commanders can beat the Lions. Anybody's beatable. As a Broncos fan, I feel your pain. It's not even the same pain, man. If I was in the Broncos situation, I really wouldn't have given a shit. I wouldn't have expected us to beat the Bills. We would have chilled. Like, the playoffs were a miracle. And the playoffs were kind of a miracle for us. It just is so much worse when you win 14 games and you lose to 2 teams twice. That's it. That's like your season. And I'm sure the Packers feel the same way. They won 11 games and they lost to 3 teams 6 times. It's crazy. Like, if that was must win against the Bears in the last week of the season, and it kind of was, and if they roll out Love, probably get to 12 wins. But, yeah, kind of crazy. Could you imagine a Commanders-Texans Super Bowl? Who would y'all have in that? I would probably have the Commanders in that one. Maybe the Texans. Texans defense, a little bit better. That would be crazy Super Bowl. Buffalo sucks. Don't give a damn, Smithers. Buffalo sucks. How it feel to have Sam Darnold as a QB? Feels pretty awful the last 2 weeks. Teams just don't let QBs go that play as well as Darnold did all year long, except he played horrendous the last 2 weeks. Horrendous. If he plays mediocre, I'm agreeing with you, Cats. He was awful the last 2 weeks. And they also have drafted a rookie quarterback and you're not paying him anything, and they drafted J.J. McCarthy to be the future of this team. Like, you don't want to be in the Packers situation. You think the Packers are really regretting they burned Jordan Love's rookie contract and they're paying him $50 million right now? They're feeling like shit today. Sam Darnold is a bum. Could be worse. At least you're not a Cowboys fan. This is true. All right, hey, got to work early. Giving them out that 3-leg. Chiefs first half -4.5. Commanders +9.5, and the Ravens money line +604. This is not financial advice. This is just what he's picking. Ravens, yeah, this playoff game doesn't take away the production Darnold had in the year. He's worth something, but really not much. No way Rams going to the Super Bowl. I don't know. Crazier things have happened. Remember, the Rams were a wild card team the year they won the Super Bowl. They were a wild card team. They didn't win the NFC West. They went on the road 3 games, won the Super Bowl. Problem is with you fans, no short or quick passing game. Why Vikings lost the last 2 weeks? Yeah, Darnold wasn't hitting the check. We had TJ Hawkinson was running wide open underneath. We don't run a lot of slants, which is weird. We had he passed up on 2 screen passes. He missed a wide open screen pass for a touchdown against Green Bay 2 weeks ago. Like, Darnold's bad in the short passing game on top of it. 250, and that is a super hot take. 253 touchdowns from Hurts, since I don't think he's passed for 250 since that Super Bowl. And multiple games before that he hasn't. So, if you said 150 and 2 touchdowns, I'd be on it. I could see the Texans pulling the upsets. The defense is just so dominant with all the pieces are red hot. Yeah, they're hot. The pass rush is hot. The secondary's not great. Derek Stingley's good, but the secondary does have some issues. Their defense is carried this year, and the Chiefs' tackles are bad, but Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes on 2 weeks rest, that's pretty that's pretty tough. Lions throwing shot, that's my boys. Texans do it again? Probably not. I probably wouldn't, especially since KC kind of owns the Texans in the playoffs. They have a really good record against them. At least you aren't a Bears fan. Yep, not a Bears fan. Jordan Love was hurt, not his fault. More excuses for Jordan Love, man. He wasn't very good this year. Seasoned over. Eagles over Bills is ass. People do not like the Eagles, that's for sure, except for Eagles fans. Commanders in the Super Bowl, they'd blow it 28. I don't think so. Jaden Daniels not the Dan Quinn's learned. Maybe it was all Kyle Shanahan all along, guys. Maybe it was just Kyle Shanahan and not Dan Quinn. Trade Justin Jefferson. Trade JJ had 58 yards in the first. Our quarterback was dog shit, guys. So he didn't have this. The second knee surgery was misreported. That second, he had one knee surgery. It was an injection, a platelet injection. So he didn't get opened up again. It was misreported. That game, I'm pretty sure that game was in Arizona, that playoff game. Was that in LA? Oh, they did. Why did I think that game was in Arizona? All right. So they're the same seed. They were the 4 seed. Same thing. Kat says Jalen Hurts is playing like he's doing that QB precision passing drill and training. Great reference. Oh, famous Bub. My guy, I missed him almost. He's depressed. Welcome to the club. We can be in misery together. He is a Buccaneers fan. And he was jacked up for last night. I was thinking about him. He definitely has something to prove, but I feel like Hurts also kind of doesn't give a shit. It's kind of annoying. I like a quarterback who hates losing. I want a psycho. Joe Burrow hates losing. I don't know if Justin Herbert hates losing. I don't know if Jalen Hurts hates losing. Patrick Mahomes hates losing. It's just kind of different. Ravens, Lions, and the Lions bring home their first Super Bowl. They deserve it after all they've gone through. No, they got to welcome. They got a taste of the pit of pain, pit of misery like the rest of us franchises. I think they're due for one more pit of misery. Like a heartbreaking Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs would kind of put the cherry. Because they haven't even been in, they haven't been in the pool. They've just been kind of out of it. 0-16 is misery, but just being bad constantly and no expectations sucks. They got a little taste against Dallas. Last year, there was they joined the pit of misery last year with that NFC title game. I think they're due for one more before they're going to have a shot to maybe make the hump. Derek and Lamar going to get his first ring. Ooh, probably, maybe. Definitely on the table. Nobody deserves anything, guys. I don't even know if teams deserve to be in the playoffs. Just go, you got to win. Nobody deserves anything. Yes, I definitely think the Chiefs or the Ravens, or I think the Chiefs, Ravens, or Bills can all beat each other and make it to the Super Bowl. Either or. Yeah, he is a rookie with no expectations, but do his best. Does his wins? I just go back to that Texas. They were different with Tank Dell. They played the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, and the Chiefs looked good when they got Hollywood Brown back. Yeah, misreported a Holmes going to be out for the last 3 games of the season. Then he's fine. Yeah, they said it was a surgery. It was just like a platelet injection of stem cells or PRP replacement. So not opened up, just a little scope, little shot. The good shit. Refs are going to cheat KFC to the Super Bowl. Cope take. Steel City Pickens is a crybaby diva. Pickens is a psychopath, that's for sure. Joe Burrow definitely... Joe Burrow was about to murder his team. He hates losing, and he missed the play. I didn't say he doesn't lose. He hates losing, though. Do we have to pull up the clip when the kicker missed that field goal against Denver, and he's you have one fucking job? Jair Alexander never looked better in my life than now. Yeah, Jair Alexander, always hurt, always ducking. Love you guys. Fly, Eagles, fly. How about a coach that hates losing and doesn't look shell-shocked in the second quarter of a playoff game? I would look shell-shocked too if my quarterback was so good all most of this season and was just complete dog shit the last 2 weeks. not going through his reads, not throwing to his open receivers. Like, guys are open. It's not like guys aren't open, and the protection is long enough. He's shell-shocked because his quarterback is so dog shit. Yup, Lions just deserve nothing. How about they earn it? Yup, nobody deserves anything. Earn it. Sirianni hates losing. Sirianni hates everything. Sirianni also hates his fans. He also hates Eagles fans, I think. Sirianni's a psycho. Such a goofball. If Chiefs three-peat, they're going to be the most hated? Definitely. Where did you see their misreport on the second surgery? I received a stem cell injection in addition to the second surgery. So my understanding is the stem cell injection was that second surgery. They didn't open up. They didn't see anything. They just gave him the injection. They didn't open him up again. That was on Shefty's initial report. And then Shefty said he got an injection. But then, like, weeks later, they said it was just an injection. Keep Darnold or we riot. Please ship Darnold to the moon. If the Chiefs three-peat, will Mahomes start to be considered better than Brady? No. But he will be the second best quarterback all time, I would say. He would pass Joe Montana with the three-peat. He would also have 4 rings. And it's a feather in his cap against Brady all time for the all-time GOAT discussion, but he never got the Brady pelt on his wall. Brady got him twice in the playoffs. Mahomes never beat Brady. So I think Mahomes might have to win 8 Super Bowls to be better than Brady. He might have to one-up him. Because if they tie at 7, Brady's going to have the 2 wins over Mahomes, 1 in the Super Bowl. So that's why. You really want JJ? That's crazy. Yeah, Sam Darnold was dog shit in the 2 biggest games of the year. We're going to be worse next year with JJ McCarthy. 10-7, though. If McCarthy's competent, 10-7. We won 7 games with Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins and a one-legged Kirk Cousins. Nobody. The college draft class is dog shit. JJ McCarthy would probably be the first overall quarterback in this draft class, and I don't think it would be very close. Rams can beat anyone. Yup. When you got a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Super Bowl winning head coach, you can usually do anything. Doesn't mean they are, but Sam Darnold got sacked. The average sack time for Darnold today was 4.4 seconds. 4.4 seconds. He was holding on to the ball. No sacks faster than 3.2 seconds. What's the deal with Cooper Kupp? I don't know, man. He's hanging out in the woods with Bigfoot with that beard. I don't know what's up with Cooper Kupp. KOC, yeah. I think he's a great head. I mean, he did win 14 games with Sam Darnold. He won 7 games last year with Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins. I think he's a good head coach. I think he needs to get his quarterback, guys. He needs a quarterback. He needs his guy. Dude, the QB is McCarthy. You don't initiate a roster plan like that and then pay a QB or draft a new one. Yeah, 100%. Especially when Darnold looked awful. If Darnold looks good the last 2 weeks, Darnold beats Detroit with a 1 seed, maybe. He comes out, if he looks fine against Detroit, we lose, or he has that awful game and he comes out and looks good tonight and we win, yeah, you pay Darnold 1 more year. But that's not what happened. He's awful, especially in big spots. Watching the Bucs secondary make me crash out for an hour. They're getting paid millions to not play defense. The offensive... tell Baker to hold on to the ball. Yeah, the offense kind of sold at the end of that game, though. The fumble on the jet sweep, you just can't have that. And the mess up on the run plays when they're in the field goal range before the field goal, just bad, man. And where was Mike Evans in the second half of that game? Fourth quarter. Had the great third down conversion, but... Do you think AP is a Hall of Fame player? Yeah, I don't think that's probably close. Adrian Peterson's a Hall of Fame. He's the best running back of his generation. Jerry Jones hate losing. Jerry Jones really don't hate losing. Jerry Jones don't hate losing. Jerry Jones likes to be the center of it. He likes the attention more than he hates losing, if he does hate losing. Yeah, report. We got spam. That's aggressive. Gavin. Wow. Crazy accusations. Yeah. Vikings are a terrible franchise, just like the Vikings fans are terrible people. The Vikings aren't a terrible franchise. They're like the fourth winningest franchise, fifth winningest franchise in the Super Bowl era. We just can't get over the hump. Vikings fans considered one of the nicest people in the league. Very few people have awful things to say about Vikings fans. NFC North is clearly the best division with the Pack and the Vikings out. Yeah, just bad matchups too. Maybe the NFC East would like to have a word. There's no terrible teams. Crazy Vikings never winning a Super Bowl. You could say that, but everyone said the Detroit Lions were never winning a Super Bowl, and they were a win away from getting to the Super Bowl last year. They have a very great shot to win the Super Bowl this year, so dumb statement. Yes, Mahomes is more talented than Tom Brady. Yes. But better, Mahomes already the GOAT, not best resume yet, but better player at his peak. Maybe, but I would say people would say Aaron Rodgers and Dan Marino were like better than Brady at his peak, or Montana. Like the winning does, the resume matters, and was phenomenal. And I mean, 28-3, like Brady was unbelievable in that game. And he was really good in the second half. I mean, you can say they got lucky with the Malcolm Butler picks. Brady was awesome in the second half of that game against the Legion of Boom. Brady and Edelman carved up the Legion of Boom in the second half of that game. And Brady was a later developer guy. I wouldn't say the first three Super Bowls Brady was that good. He was kind of like Brock Purdy, game manager type guy. And his defense was awesome, but he has the it factor. We all will never doubt the Brady factor. That is a real thing. Darnold is amazing. He is not amazing. He was awful in the two biggest games of the year. He's not clutch. He will never be clutch. Vikings need Cam Ward. JJ is going to be doo-doo. He sucked at Michigan. Yeah, they won a title. It wasn't because of him. Go watch the drive against Nick Saban in the Rose Bowl to tie that game with 2 minutes left and tell me JJ McCarthy's bad. He's also a child. Cam Ward is 25 years old, and this is the first real good season from Cam Ward that he actually finished. He was terrible last year at Washington State down the stretch. 13 seconds needs a massage. Somebody volunteered. Do you think? Yeah, I would say the Hitman's in the Hall of Fame. He's probably going to be the last thumper safety in the NFL. Like the last true thumper that was just crack and skull. It can't do that anymore. I would say Harry should be in the Hall of Fame probably. Mr. Consistent. Having a 14-3 record and playing a road playoff game is a horrendous circumstance. It's the first time ever, and it's peak Minnesota Vikings. Do you think the Jefferson stays or eventually leave to a contender? I don't know. JJ gets paid. He's pretty happy. We throw him the ball a lot. He has unbelievable numbers. Who knows? He's also a god in Minnesota. You can't say the Vikings, if JJ McCarthy is good, the Vikings are instantly a contender. Again, it's that simple. Well, the Lions defense is decimated. They're getting healthier, though. Anzalone made a huge difference last week. Molesting TJ Hawkinson. Vikings definitely in a better position compared to every team that lost in the wild card weekend. Yeah. Maybe Tampa. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, they're not paying a quarterback. Lions not winning the Super Bowl, so it wasn't a dumb state. The Lions definitely could. I don't think anybody would have fathomed the Lions even making to an NFC Championship game. Or being the Super Bowl favorite. Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota, God help us. More talented, Rodgers or Mahomes. Different. Physical ability, probably Rodgers, but he's not a piece of, Rodgers a quitter. Look at Rodgers' record when he's down 3 points in a game. He's bad. Mahomes down 10 points and he just locks in. If KOC wins Coach of the Year, we ride. Yeah, but I don't think it should. I think it was going to be Jim Harbaugh. I don't. Maybe it should be Dan Quinn. But I mean, the Lions, what were they? 3 games over their projection. They had a 12 win total in Vegas. They won 15. It's pretty good, but still. It's usually massive over performances on your win total. Wins Coach of the Year. And they voted last week. Just remember last year, Kevin Stefanski beat D'Amico Ryans, and then D'Amico Ryans beat Kevin Stefanski in the playoff first round game. So Brady's a better game manager than Mahomes. Mahomes gets too cute and it's burned him multiple times, but it hasn't burned him in any of the biggest playoff games ever in his career, except for that overtime against Cincinnati. That's the only bad half Mahomes has ever played in his playoff career. Like, realistically, like, he's had whatever halves, but he just played flat out bad in that half. But he rights the ship. Brady's had plenty of bad playoff games. Brady's had bad Super Bowls. Yeah, Rodgers an old man. Deion denies the Cowboys job. Yep. That was surprising when they first reported it, that they were talking to him. Brady is the best processor. He's also the best winner. Just got that edge. Always believes he's going to win. Oh no, the chat crapped out on me. Oof. All right. I appreciate everybody who has stopped by tonight, dropping the like, subscribe, and sharing this thing. It means so much to me, guys. Help me walk through this. Do you think Smith and Dawkins are very similar style-wise? Yeah, a little. It was just way different eras, too. Brian Dawkins much earlier, obviously. It was just different kind of football. Rams will win the Super Bowl because of the LA Fires. We saw them fix it for the Saints. Wouldn't be the craziest thing I've heard. What's up? Sorry about the game. Yeah, tough loss, Vincent. Tough loss. That's if the defense holds up next year. They had a lot of turnovers this year, and that could easily drop off. Yeah, but they also had turnovers because of pressures. You know, hitting quarterbacks, strip. It's not like quarterbacks were making like terrible reads and just throwing it to guys. We had a couple of those like everybody does. But a lot of it's like hitting quarterbacks under duress, you know, strip sacks, hits a ball, tip a ball up to a guy. And the defense is old, but the D-line's good. They're all coming back. Van Ginkel's back, Grenard's back. Got to figure out the secondary. I mean, our rookie corner, who was going to be our starting corner, Mekhi Blackman, tore his Achilles on the first day of practice. And Kyrie Jackson, who was probably going to be our other starting corner, freaking died before the season, or before camp. So, yeah, pretty just awful everywhere. Cam Ward's only 22. He's been in college for like 7 years. That's crazy. Is he turning 23? Fly, Eagles, fly. Bring on the Lambs. If the Lakers and Rams win this year, then we know sports is rigged and I'm from LA. But you are the Titans fan. Who you got in the Super Bowl? If I had to pick right now, I would say Chiefs and Lions, but I'm not going to. Nothing firm yet. Or the Chiefs. Yup, the dreaded Taylor Swift. The dreaded Taylor Swift. Scott. What's up, Scoot? What kind of bear is best? Black bear. Sacked Arnold. Good, great nickname. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just an angry Giants fan. Go ahead and vent, brother. Hey, brother. Just curious. Did you blow up like crazy over the last 2 or 3 weeks? When I first found your live, I was the only one in there vibing, talking fantasy, starts, sits. I mean, the lives have kind of blown up. Yeah, our vertical live streams have kind of gone crazy the last few weeks. Yeah, definitely from a viewer standpoint, we've kind of blown up, at least views-wise. And subs-wise, we've been doing really good. We're not at that pure viral status yet, but it's been great. Who's better, AP or Falk? Ooh, probably pure running back Adrian Peterson. But Marshall Falk, obviously a much better pass catcher, too. Both Hall of Famers. As a Packers fan, I feel bad for y'all. I wanted y'all to go to the Lions to beat the Eagles. Yeah, I think us Packers fans are all united against the Eagles. Rams Super Bowl parade, Burning Town Street would go hard AF. Can't lie. If LA is still on fire by the time the Super Bowl is, that's a real problem. We got bigger problems there. We ain't playing a Super Bowl if LA still on fire come February. I'm thinking Super Bowl will end up being Lions Bills. Most hilarious joke would be Rams Texans. 4x4 bowl. I would like to see the Eagles win. Oh, then you're not a real Giants fan. They'll rig it for the Rams. I could see that. Be careful, Eagles fans, next week. I could see, the NFL lubricating the game next week against the Eagles. Now, Lions-Rams in the NFC Championship game, I think they let that one roll out. The Lions are a fantastic story either way, so they let that one roll out. But I would not be surprised if a couple of calls go against Philadelphia next week. Do you got the Chiefs beating the Texans? Yes, sir. Chiefs are going to crush the Texans probably. Congrats, brother. Keep going. Appreciate that, Miles. I'm glad you love the content. Glad you support the content. Taylor Swift will be singing. All right, we hit the end of the chat. Holy shit, guys. I didn't read everything. But I hit the end of the chat. I can't believe. Eagles versus Rams Super Bowl. First Super Bowl with a combined 500-plus rushing yards. Just nobody stopping anybody. Eagles-Ravens. Eagles-Ravens. Yup. Just that game will be over in 2 minutes. Everybody runs. Yeah, absolutely no shot. Giants fans rooting for Eagles and Saquon. Okay, well, who's better, Falk or Henry? Ooh, probably Henry. I think Derrick Henry probably better than Adrian Peterson at his peak is better than Henry, but Derrick Henry's had this insane longevity career, and he's not just like a stat compiler like Frank Gore, who just like played forever and racked up a lot of yards. Derrick Henry's been a top 3 running back in this league for like ever. He's just been dominant running back for his entire career. Yeah, Derrick Henry is just a freak physical athlete, a freak specimen, something we're never going to see before. What's your take on Fields? Do not like Justin Fields. We've seen enough of Justin Fields. I'm not a real Giants fan. Listen, pal, Eagles fans and Giants fans both hate the Cowboys. Everybody hates the Cowboys. Hit the heart button if you hate the Cowboys. Drop some hearts if you hate the Cowboys. A lot of people want to see Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl, most voters. Yeah, or the Bills-Lions, I could see. Somebody gets their first ring. I have to look at the line. What's the line? Possibly the upset. Fighting with us. That pulls the upset. I just saw the game 2 weeks ago, and once Tank Dell went down, it was kind of over. But I'm glad you believe in your Texans. Offense has to play much, much better. Who's better, Henry? Probably Henry. Philly. On top of the question, I knew the question you were asking, Philly. Where do you see Najee going if he leaves Pittsburgh? God, I don't know what you do with Najee Harris. I don't think he's that kind of running back. But maybe like Pittsburgh's O-line is just that bad. Henry's a beast. Yep. The king. I want to know how the heck Henry... I know, right? He's literally a physical freak, cats. Like, we'll never probably see a guy like this ever again. Just like so big, so fast, so strong. As durable. He missed like 8 games one year with the Titans, but the most durable guy. I have a hilarious story. So, one of my best friends was playing for Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl against Alabama. And he sent us a picture of their defensive game plan. Like after this Sugar Bowl happens against Alabama. Derrick Henry's not even listed on the scouting report. And if we can look at this game... What year was this? Was this the let's see, OU Bama Sugar Bowl? Derrick Henry was not even on the scouting report. 2014 Sugar Bowl. Oklahoma beat Alabama 45-31. Derrick Henry not even on the scouting report. And my man went off against this one. So 2014 Sugar Bowl, they weren't even ready for Derrick Henry, and he just came out of nowhere. And since then, Derrick Henry's a freak. And my buddy is a big MFer, played D tackle. Derrick Henry runs through his arms like an arm. Like he sticks his arm out to wrap up Derrick Henry, and he said he's never felt a strength like that ever in his life or ever again. And Derrick Henry was like a sophomore. Nobody knew him. They didn't even know him to have him on the scouting report, Oklahoma. What was this? I want to see this box score. Derrick Henry, 8 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown. He had 8. Derrick Henry had 8 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown. Oh my God. Demon. My man's over 10 yards a pop. Oh my God. Who you got, Ravens or Bills? Ooh. Find out Wednesday, Maddox. Should be a great game. Najee Harris is like Derrick Henry playing Road to Glory on Heisman. Drafting Saquon first overall in fantasy next year. Yep, that's probably going to be the move. Or like Jamar Chase. Saquon or Chase. And now Alabama sucks. What happened, man? NIL got them on the ropes. Plus, I don't think Kalen DeBoer is a great head coach. He's good. He's not great. Not great in big games. And he's not a good recruiter. Did you guys know the top 10 recruits for the state of Alabama? Top 10 recruits in just the state of Alabama. None of them are going to Alabama for this past recruiting class. None. Most of them going to Auburn. Ravens getting it done. Nobody can stop Henry. True. Nobody can stop Henry, but I don't know, man. Yeah, only injury he had was a freak injury. Missed it, and we lost to the Bengals. Oh, that was the 1 seed year. But at least the Bengals went to the Super Bowl that year, so it helps a little bit. At least the Bengals didn't crash out the next week. Happy Sober Tuesday. It is Tuesday. 3 months sober. Shoot, I'm like a week sober. 2 weeks sober. Stop drinking. Got to have that dry January, get that dad bod away and get into that summer looking. I got to look good for all my fans. Have some topless live streams for you guys. I drafted Henry first round for the last couple of years. I made the mistake of taking CMC in another league. Brees over him this year. Yeah, definitely we would have been off CMC Miles, but Brees, that was a tough one. We all thought Brees would be good. We loved Henry this year too. Najee would definitely be way better with a top O-line. Derrick Henry, the best running back ever. Yeah, probably. He's definitely better than Eddie Lacy. Mark Ingram. Yeah, Derrick Henry probably. DJ Lagway for Heisman 25. Change that to a 6. Heisman 26. I don't think next year. Maybe. Not a lot of good quarterbacks out there. But I don't know how good Florida's going to be. I don't think Billy Napier is a very good head coach. 2 of them are going to Texas, I think, or Georgia. Both had monster recruiting classes. Yup. They did. Texas had a bad portal class, too. Trent Richardson throwback. Man, another guy who fell apart. Are you cool with JJ McCarthy start? Yeah, just depends what his health status is, what he looks like. Does he get a full training camp? Does he get a preseason? Who's better, Eddie Lacy or Ray Rice? Definitely Ray Rice. Ray Rice was good for a while. Bad person, good running back. Eddie Lacy had one good season, was just fat. JJ to JJ for a payday. That's going to be my man Paul Allen's call. He said, JJ to JJ for a payday. Vikings score. All right. Any other draft questions? This was a great stream, guys. I appreciate you guys clowning on me and letting me rage out. Are you drafting wide receivers? Any wide receivers over Jettas besides Chase next year? Maybe Jefferson gets a little bit knocked down. Depends on what the quarterback situation looks like. But probably not. Probably not. I would say Chase, then Jefferson. I don't trust CeeDee Lamb. Who knows with them? Carson Beck to Miami. What do you think about that? For $4 million, it's insane. And Carson Beck might be like the best quarterback in college football next year. And I see some stuff from Carson Beck. Like he has moments like why people had him as the first quarterback coming into the season in the draft. But he also makes like just insane bonehead plays. And apparently his relationship with his Cavender girlfriend who plays basketball for them, the Twins, was kind of an issue. So, and he also looks like Timmy from South Park. Don't love that for Beck. Jalen Milroe to the Steelers at no, too early for Milroe. Too early. There's like, let's look at the PFF grades on these quarterbacks. Cam Ward, 17. Shadur Sanders, 42. Dylan Gabriel, 68. Milroe, 69. Nice. This is a horrible quarterback draft, guys. And we've had a lot of GMs say they would rather take, they wouldn't take Shador in the first round. We've had multiple GMs say that. Not a first round guy. Who's better in space, Shady or C? Oh, God. In space? I don't know, man. CJ2K was different. Shady, I felt like was better in, like, Shady was better with, yeah, I guess that is space, guys around him. Like, he made guys miss all day. CJ, you get him out there, he just outrunning everybody. That's a hard question. Shady, obviously a better career. Nico Collins, love Nico Collins. He's a dog. Dude, you're cool. Most chill NFC fan streamer I found, and better than half of the AFC streamers too. Appreciate that, Case. Appreciate that. Welcome. I'm glad I could entertain you. Where do you see Genty landing? Great question. Unbelievable running back draft, guys. We've now gotten into the draft part because everybody's team, only a few teams left. Genty, elite running back. Let me look. I don't have the top of the draft memorized. Let me go NFL draft order. Yeah, let's go NFL draft order. Tankathon, what do you got for us? Get these stupid ads out of here, Tankathon. Let's see. Maybe Vegas at 6. If they can't get a quarterback, they could use a running back. New Orleans maybe could use a running back, but they need a lot of help. They probably let Kamara walk. Chicago needs everything, an offensive line more than anything. Dallas at 12. Arizona, maybe? James Conner's getting up there. Cincinnati. Somebody might trade up for him, too. Genty's great. At least you all made it further than the Packers. True. Technically true. Tough loss tonight. I mean, I knew LA was on fire, but I didn't think their football team was. Yeah, they came out hot, and Sam Darnold was dog shit. Pizza bagel. Yeah, I think Cam Ward is better than Sanders, too, Steel City. I would not keep Justin Fields over the whole draft class. No, I would not. I would take Cam Ward, and I would take Cam Ward. Like, I've seen enough of Justin Fields. Like, he's not it. Better talent-wise. Randy Moss or Megatron? Probably Randy Moss. That's really close. They're the same kind of build. Like, Randy Moss was like the first ever like 6'4" wide receiver that ran like a 4.1. And then Megatron wasn't quite as fast. Definitely not slow by any stretch. What do you run, like a 4.3? And his jump ball ability was second to none. God, those are probably the two most talented wide receivers in the history of the game. I look like Scattaboo. You mean Scattaboo looks like me. I'm older than Scattaboo, so he looks like me. He's copying my swag over here. Where do you think the 15th round for Quinn Ewers? I don't think he should declare. Notre Dame would pay him to go play. Ewers is such a mid quarterback. Never been a Ewers guy. Ario's still on that Shador time. He's rocking the watch. He's feeling it with the number 1 pick. I will be betting all next season on Genty. He will be a cash king in the betting sense. Adam on fantasy, probably bet him in the beginning of the year. For Rookie of the Year, yeah, I mean, his lines might get too aggressive. It depends what team he plays for. Offensive Rookie of the Year, probably a safe bet. Quarterbacks always do have an edge, but it's a bad quarterback draft. Maybe a wide receiver. That's a good, but Genty, probably a safe bet. I don't know, man. LA might lose, but they might get a little help. You think it's all his fault? I think this is mostly on Sam Darnold tonight. What's your round 1 mock look like? I am nowhere close, John, to a round 1 mock, but I will have a round 1 mock ready to go probably a week after the Super Bowl, before the combine. I'm going to do plenty of draft content this offseason. So if you guys are draft junkies, we gonna be here, guys. You think McCarthy gonna start next season? I hope so. Ewers is terrible. High on Joe Milton. Yeah, the Joe Milton experience. Joe Milton is what everyone thought Anthony Richardson was gonna be. Just like Joe Milton, like, has an unbelievable arm and throws and makes plays, but then he can't hit. You know, he misses easy throws and makes a bad interception. Joe Milton's kind of crazy. Oh, I'm cramping. I need some more water, man. I worked out hard today. I had so much anxiety and stress for the game tonight, and obviously it blew up. I had to go extra hard on the workout. Chase, they got great production from Chase Brown. Obviously, he had the knee injury, and you need two running backs, man. I think you need two running backs to just take some pressure off of them. There's no reason not to have two running backs. Depends what's on the board. I don't know if they're going to... Danny Dimes is a free agent, so I don't know if he'll be back as a backup or if he wants to get a play next year. J.J. Watt or Aaron Donald? Christ. J.J. Watt at his peak, probably. Barely. I don't know. God. I kind of want to say Aaron Donald. The more that I think about it. Aaron Donald was literally unblockable for 5 to 10 years. Like, unblockable. Vikings lost because of Darnold, but the Rams played very, very well. The Rams played good. They didn't play bad at all. But Darnold was so horrible. Mini should draft my boy Jason Marshall, cornerback from Florida. Let's take a look at the cornerbacks. I wouldn't mind Benjamin Morrison. Where is Marshall declared? I don't know if Marshall's declared. Maybe. Oh, there he is. Not a high grade. If Will Lee was coming back, and Will Lee ain't that guy. I have to do some more DB looks. Will Johnson, obviously a stud. Travis Hunter's an average cornerback. Much better wide receiver, I think, especially in the NFL game. Benjamin Morrison would be the top corner in this draft if he didn't get hurt. That guy is a stud. Getting tired, guys. But we're going to keep rolling. The stream's great. Chat keeps flowing. Everybody's subbing. Everybody hitting the like button. Awesome. Scattaboo is the man. I love me some Scattaboo. I had to let the people know about Scattaboo. My buddy, so when college football came out, college football 25, and we started a dynasty, my buddy was Arizona State in our dynasty. And when we played him, we're like, who is this white running back? This guy is a stud. And that's where we learned of Cam Scattaboo. So coming into the year, we were hyped. That's the Sam I remember as a Jet fan. Correct. Who you got going to the Super Bowl? Nothing in stone yet, but if I had to pick, I would say Chiefs and Lions. I go to ASU, and watching Scattaboo throughout the season was awesome. Great time at ASU. Billis. Great time at ASU. Lovely ladies at ASU. It's Scattaboo. Great running back. This is an unbelievable running back draft class. Even though we did take a dent, both Penn State running... Oh, they already took them off. Both Penn State running backs said they're coming back. So, they are not in on the draft board anymore. That's crazy because Will Lee said he was coming back. So, Scattaboo too. Omarion Hampton's a stud too. Dylan Sampson is a boss. Caleb Johnson's good. Travion Henderson for Ohio State. Devin Neal might be the fastest running back in the class. Him or R.J. Harvey. Quinshon Judkins is good. Giddens is fine. Jarquez Hunter's solid. Mulling's okay. I don't know really much about Martinez. Trevor Etienne. Kyle Mononage is awesome. I don't know anything about Marcus Yawns. Tootin's okay. Ollie Gordon? Remember Ollie Gordon? This is an unbelievable running back draft class. There's great value all over this thing late in this draft. Middle of the draft. I'm getting tired. I ran out of water. I'm yawning. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Do I have any water in my water bottle? I do. Got a little. We're getting parched over here. We're going crazy. All right, J.J. Watt, the GOAT. Yeah, J.J. Watt was a Hall of Fame player. I'm not going to... Any shade to J.J. Watt. How do you pick a winner in this Bills-Ravens game? I don't know. Maybe you just have a feel. Maybe you just go with who you feel. Because these are two really even teams. The Ravens did dominate the Bills in that first game, but I don't think it's going to look like that first game. Who's better, Adam Thielen or Julian Edelman? Julian Edelman. The Ravens and Bills game can go either way. Yep, flip a coin. Have you watched Kyle McCord? Yeah, Kyle McCord was awful last year at Ohio State. But he was pretty good at Syracuse this year. He did have like the three pick sixes in the first half against Pitt. Was that Pitt? Kyle McCord's interesting. I think Kyle McCord's a good flyer late round quarterback, maybe a backup guy fills in, could be a potential Dak Prescott kind of character. Who's better, Brian Burns or Hassan Reddick? Yikes. Well, Hassan Reddick barely plays, it feels like. I would say Brian Burns. Just locked my divisional parlay. Chiefs moneyline, Lions, Chiefs, Eagles, Ravens, plus 12.5. You tease that up? What's that payout, Miles? Parties go crazy. Yup. Living up to the hype. Arizona, too. Tyler Warren to the Colts. Oh, they do need a tight end. What's the hype with McCarthy? I don't see anything crazy for Michigan. I saw a lot of game management. I saw a lot of winning. And just watch that last drive of regulation in the Rose Bowl last year against Alabama. J.J. McCarthy had to do it, and he carved them up. Will Howard's not going to be a high draft pick. I don't think anybody thinks Will Howard's that good. Will Howard's not going to be a high draft pick. Woke podcast. This is definitely not a woke podcast about football. Tom Brady is a game manager. You counts call him the GOAT. Tom Brady is the GOAT, man. I don't know what you're talking about. My man's got 7 rings. Yeah, the first 3. Those last 4? 28-3? The Tampa Bay Super Bowl? My man had the highest scoring offense in NFL history as a quarterback in 2007. Until the Broncos broke it. Crazy, Devin. Crazy. Defense wins championships. Definitely, you need a top 15 defense to win a championship, but you also need a quarterback to win a championship. There ain't no shitty quarterbacks winning Super Bowls anymore, guys. There's a new era of football. Brock Purdy wasn't good enough. That simple. Plus 125. Good payout. Vrabel to the Patriots. Yup. Great hire. We called that a couple of weeks ago. Ooh, Matt Stafford or Ben Roethlisberger. Probably Ben Roethlisberger. If Matt Stafford gets another ring, if he goes on a run here, if he beats Philly and Detroit and wins the Super Bowl again, I'll say Matt Stafford. Who do you think the Bears hire? I have no idea what the Bears are going to do. I thought it was going to be Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson wants his own GM, and they're not going to get rid of Ryan Poles and Tyler Warren. So I don't know what they're going to do at head coach in Chicago. They're going to bear it up. It's the Chicago Bears. Whoever has most Super Bowls makes you the best player. No, being the best player on teams to win Super Bowls makes you the best player. Yes. Tom Brady. The best player on those Super Bowl teams after the first 3. So he would even be tied for the most if you wanted to take away the first 3. He did have the game-winning drive. That was all on him. His defense got cooked in 2001. Is Chicago the most desirable head? No, I would not want to go to Chicago because they have Danny. Appreciate the sub. Chicago's not the most desirable. Like, I like Caleb, obviously, even though he wears nail polish. I think he's fine. It's just, I don't like their GM. Their offensive line is terrible. The defense is kind of okay. And they have this Warren as their team president, who's not the GM, but reports to the owner. And it's weird. It's just not a functional situation, I think. If you need to keep things simple, man. GM head coach. GM head coach. Keep things simple. And the Bears do bear things up. Yeah, Cowboys head coach. I'm hearing Kellen Moore potentially from the Eagles was the play caller in Dallas. I don't know, though. Interesting job. I feel like a Mike Tomlin would be a great hire for the Cowboys. They need an adult. Brady was the weakest link on the team that came back from 28-3. He was the weakest link on the teams that he led down the field to score the game-winning touchdown. He was the weakest link when he carved up the Legion of Boom in the second half. What other Brady Super Bowl am I missing? Who's better, Lane Johnson or Penei Sewell? Lane Johnson is a better right tackle than Penei Sewell. He should have gotten the All-Pro nod over Penei Sewell, probably. Penei Sewell's much better in space, but like anchor one-on-one pass protection, it's Lane Johnson. Penei Sewell's a better run blocker, though. Oh, Devin doesn't know what a game manager is. Gronk or Kelsey? Kelsey. Barely. Gronk didn't play long enough. Shannon Sharp or Zach Ertz? Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp's a Hall of Famer. Zach Ertz probably not a Hall of Famer. Mike T ain't going nowhere. Pittsburgh forever. I think Pittsburgh's about to move on from him. Yeah, he lost 2 to the Giants. Wasn't his fault. Eli Manning made 2 of the best throws ever. He wasn't great in that first one. He was pretty good in that second one they lost. They can have him. Yup. Steelers fans, I think, are over Tomlin. A game manager, an unathletic person who could throw a spiral? No. Just false. False. Devin, are you like 12? So Joe Montana was a game manager too? Like, no, there was never athletic quarterback. So the greatest quarterback prior to this era of quarterbacks was Fran Tarkington, the only mobile quarterback who was athletic. What? Tom Brady horrendous. All the you're screaming to fire Tomlin will look silly when Jay Fields leads up the stairway to 7. No shot. No Fields, no Tomlin. I think that just sometimes you just go stale. It's kind of like Philly. Like Andy Reid was a great coach. Everyone knew Andy Reid was a great coach, but sometimes it just kind of goes stale and you need a fresh start in the locker room. And both teams can benefit from it. Who was more talented in their prime, college Vic or RG3? RG3 was a better passer of Viking, especially in college. Oh, Devin, you just not quarterbacks, man. Like, the quarterback position just recently became mobile. Like, what? Throwing the football and winning football games is the most important position of the most important part of the quarterback. Yeah, but Dan Marino's never put in the GOAT conversation. Dan Marino's probably like 5 because he doesn't have a Super Bowl. You have to win Super Bowls. Is TJ Watt the best defensive player in the world? No. He hasn't registered a defensive stat he hasn't registered a defensive stat in like 4 games. It's Myles Garrett. No offense, Steelers fan. Miles. This is a Miles channel. All about my guy, Miles. Super nice guy. Very humble, cool guy. Honestly, especially after watching that clip with the guy from the Ravens last week or 2 weeks ago about, the jersey swap, I'm starting to believe Mason Rudolph might have said something to Myles Garrett to deserve being blomped on the head. Yeah, and then they invented this thing called the forward pass, and it became the most important part of football. Devin, what are you talking about? God, you're like a bot. Who signs T. Higgins? Great question. You know who would be a great team for T. Higgins? Great team for T. Higgins. Washington Commanders. And I'm pretty sure they got cap space. T. Higgins with Scary Terry. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Jay Jettas or Jamar? Gotta go JJ. Got better numbers so far through their career. Jamar Chase isn't breaking any of Jefferson's records yet, so JJ. And Jamar's had a better quarterback. Joe Burrow's been better than any quarterback Jefferson's had. Oh, Devin, it's just called the pass. No. Oh, child, you need to brush up. You're saying football started with the triple option, and then they invented the forward pass, it was called. The forward pass. It is a forward pass, and that has always been a thing. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Please educate yourself, child. Please educate. Football did not always have a forward pass. Rudolph Dome is still dented. New era of the NFL got a good QB. Looks at teams in the playoffs now. JJ is the superior Watt. It's not if you ask Shane Gillis. If TJ came to the Texans, he would gain some of his brother's powers. TJ's cool. JJ, wah. JJ, wah. I think Higgs to Washington is the move as well. Chargers and Pats also obvious. Yep. Packers said they're interested too. Yep. I could see all those. They all need number 1 wide receivers. But God, if Higgins wants to keep winning, Washington's a perfect spot for him. Chargers a great spot too. Patriots are a little way, but if he wants to be a true number one and be competitive, Packers, good spot. The issue with Tomlin is he's a defensive coach in an offensive league, and Andy is an offensive guy. True, but even Tomlin's defense has been really bad lately. Tomlin's defense has been bad, and it's been bad in the postseason. It is definitely an issue for him. So, yeah, I mean, it's just been so long, too. So long. Would you say that Chase was a reach in the draft for the Bengals? No, it was not a reach because he's been great, but they probably should have drafted Penei Sewell to help protect Joe Burrow, but it worked out. It worked out for them. D-Boy, thanks for the sub. Again, if I'm not shouting you out, guys, if you subbed earlier, it was hectic. I didn't shout out a lot of people. I'm sorry about that, and I only can see people who have public subs on, so do know if you do subbed and liked, I greatly appreciate it. So much. Helps support me, allows me to keep ranting and raving on this channel, keep doing this stuff, and I absolutely love it. Do you think the Colts will replace Richardson? Probably. I could see Sam Darnold going to the Colts. I'm not an Anthony Richardson guy. I wasn't an Anthony Richardson guy before the season, going into the season, so yeah, not an AR5 guy. Has the talent, but again, he played like no games in college, was super inaccurate, and he still is inaccurate. But Max, I do appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. Doomerville or Clowney? Ooh, God, Clowney was kind of always a letdown. Clowney never lived up to the hype, I don't think. He should have been so much better. So much better. Harry retires. Big salute and much respect to the Hitman, absolutely. There you go. 12 years after, but the triple option was still a thing, so I ain't wrong. Nor you do. The forward, yes. It was the thing, and then the forward pass was implemented, and then it became the most important thing in football, the forward pass. Passing, whoever throws the football the best is important. You don't have to be mobile to be a quarterback. Throwing a football is the most important part of playing quarterback. Suggs. God, Terrell Suggs was just a terrorist. How did Ivan Pace perform when he returned from injury? He's a thumper. I was super high on Demarion Overshown. Am I scouting? Yeah, Overshown. Yeah, just banged up. Pace was whatever. Pace is not very good. Pace is way too small. He's way too undersized. He gets eaten up on blitzes by any sort of slight pickup. Running backs can pick him up easy. And he over pursues because he's so small and he plays with a head of steam. He's a role guy. I like him as a role, but he can't cover anybody. Still believe in AR as a Gators fan. Potential is as high as Cam Newton 2.0. Roller coaster. Cam Newton had one great season, guys. Cam Newton had one great season and then a lot of bad seasons in between and a couple of average and good seasons. But I don't know, man. You have to be able to complete a pass. AR can't throw a 5-yard out. Like, he's just super inaccurate. You think the Panthers have a chance next season to make the playoffs? Yes. I think the Panthers could be a spicy team next season. I'm so happy for my guy Bryce Young. So happy for him. Which Woodson? Charles Woodson? Darren Woodson? Charles Woodson definitely over Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins was like in the Hall of Good. He's good, not great. He's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't think Brian Dawkins is in the Hall of Fame, is he? He might have gotten in eventually. He did. Did he just get in last year, actually? Yep. When did he get in? Pro Football Hall of Fame. When did Dawkins get in? When was he enshrined? How come it doesn't tell me the year? Oh, class of 18. Yeah, so it took him a little while to get in there. I just remember that. Yeah, took him 7 years to get in. Charles Woodson was a first ballot guy, though. Brian Dawkins should be in the Hall of Fame. I wasn't sure. I thought he was one of the guys. Ed Reed. Ed Reed over Troy Polamalu. Ed Reed. Ed Reed's the first defensive player jersey I ever bought in my life as a child. I loved Ed Reed that much. God, I love Ed Reed. Do you have the Colts get it? Who do you have the Colts getting in the draft? Where are the Colts picking? 14. God, I have no idea. No idea yet, Max. But do not worry. We will have all the draft content. All the draft content. All the draft content for the offseason. So we're going to have plenty of it. So don't worry. I will have a mock draft. I'll probably have a mock draft like a week after the Super Bowl. Oh, hard choices. You guys are dropping hard choices. John Grenard getting sacks on Saturday in the Swamp. Revis or Sherman? Ooh. Ooh. Yep, I deserve that. Do your research. Should have known better. I always thought he was a guy that was not getting left. He was always a guy that was getting left out. 2018 was a tumultuous time. What was I even doing in 2018, guys? I didn't even have this channel. Revis or Sherman? Revis, pure lockdown corner, Revis. Sherman really couldn't play much man. Sherman kind of like isolated zone helps. Revis like locked up, man. Revis Island was something special. Is primetime? Yes. Deion's best corner ever. Darnold turned into that pumpkin at midnight. Yep, he was awful. And he's going to lose a ton of money. Ray Lewis over Brian Urlacher, definitely. But Darnold's going to lose. He lost himself like $40 million probably. He's probably maybe only 20, but he lost him so much. How would you rank the top 5 QBs of the past draft class right now? Jade and Caleb. Okay, we've had this question a few times. This is a good one. I'm not rating Milton. I'm not rating McCarthy. I'm not rating Penix. They didn't play enough. I would rate them Jaden, Caleb, May, Bo. Jaden, Caleb, May, Bo. And Bear, I kind of like May more than Caleb. Bo's in a scheme, guys. He's in a scheme. Sold a move to Sam Howell. Sam Howell was the guy. Ray Lewis is the best middle linebacker ever. Definitely in the argument. Earl Thomas or Cam Chancellor, definitely. Definitely Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor is like... Cam Chancellor will not be remembered as well as he should. Cam Chancellor was like the best. Like, God, I love Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor was special. Bo does his job, but he does it well for sure. Yeah, he does fine. Bo Nix is truly a game manager. Who you got in the Natty? I got Ohio State. Yep, I would say I'm rooting for Notre Dame, but I think Ohio State wins. Yeah, best linebacker, probably Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is probably the best defensive player ever. All right, guys, we are still going strong here, but it is... Oh, it's not as late as I thought. I'm just exhausted. I do have to make a video tonight, but we'll keep it going. You guys keep dropping questions in there. If you want to do more draft stuff, we'll do that. I'll be doing a video breaking down everything from this past weekend, so I do need a little bit of time for that. Love Carl Banks, John. When was the last time you heard this name? Chester Taylor. Ooh, Chester Taylor was an awesome Vikings running back. I was so shocked when we drafted Adrian Peterson after we had Chester Taylor had a 1,000-yard season. Luke Kuechly or Navarro Bowman? Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly was calling out teams' plays left and right. My man just had so many concussions. Luke Kuechly, he's probably not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he's a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame. That's how good Luke Kuechly was. He was dominant. Unless he got in. Did he get in last year? I thought he was up this year. God, Luke Kuechly was just... Those injuries, those concussions, man, killed him. Retired until he's up this year. I think he's on the ballot. He's in the college football pro. Yeah, I thought he was on the ballot this year. He's probably not going to get in, but he should. Maybe it'll take a little while. But, yeah, Luke Kuechly was something else. Rank the playoff QB still alive. Who has the bigger game this week on Saquon or King Henry? Ooh, probably Saquon. Ooh, that's tough. Give me Saquon. They both have, I think hot take, they both go over $150. That's my hot take. Yes, Luke Kuechly and Andrew Luck just out of the game a little too soon, injury-wise. All right, I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. going for over 2 hours. This was a hell of a stream, hell of a venting session. I do appreciate everybody who... Patrick Willis or Luke Kuechly. I will say Patrick Willis and end on that one. Oh, that's a tough one, though. Patrick Willis, though. Patrick Willis was another guy who retired a little too early. He was out of this world. Augie says, do you think the Vikings will not re-sign Sam? I hope they don't re-sign Sam and get a corner in the draft. They definitely need a corner in the draft. Yes and yes. Which player can't say guarantee a touchdown this weekend? Can't say Quan. Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Anytime touchdown, Josh Allen. All right, so that's going to do it for us, guys. I do appreciate everybody stopping by, all the comments, all the chatters, everyone who subbed, everyone hit the like. I greatly appreciate it. It means so much to me. Helps me to keep doing this stuff. If you haven't already, if you're hanging out just watching, hit that like button. Helps the channel out in the analytics a lot. If you haven't already, think about subbing. We got daily sports content. We got our daily sports stat fact of the day, a little short I do every day. Give you a fun, cool sports stat fact you can show off, act smart to your friends. I also go do daily content. Got longer form videos and the live streams now. We'll be live again Wednesday night, breaking down everything we can expect for the NFL divisional playoffs. I'll be going through all 4 games. We're going to have a video dropping tomorrow afternoon, breaking down everything we saw from this weekend in a little bit more condensed form. And then we'll be streaming again this weekend during either Saturday or Sunday during the games. Haven't decided yet. Maybe we'll do a little bit of both. Maybe 1 game Saturday, 1 game Sunday. We can do a little bit of that. Just depends how it goes. So appreciate everybody stopping by. Better franchise, Jets or the Jags? Well, I guess I have to say barely the Jets because they've won a Super Bowl. But the Jags have also... currently the Jags. They actually make the playoffs and don't have a 12-year-old running their team. Mike Allstott or Lorenzo Neal? Mike Allstott, but both of the last 2 best fullbacks we're ever going to see. The Water Buffalo, Josh Allen. Great stream. The Vikings will be back next year, I'm sure. I sure as hell hope so. Amazing stream. Appreciate it, Miles. See you guys next time. So, again, thanks for everybody stopping by. Like, subscribe, and share.